Hello! Yes, it is Monday. Go figure. I have been so enraptured with editing the past couple of days. Not to mention a couple other things going on here at the Red Leaf outpost or whatever. It's been a time. We're having a time. It's no longer the Christmas season. It's Three Kings Day. It's over. That's it. It's over. It's January. I'm tired all the time. The Red Leaf outboat, like an outboat motor. I haven't posted a schedule for this week. I don't know if I'm going to have a set schedule this week. Things are a little chaotic. But I've been able to put a lot of time into editing the first Build Your Oshi video, which I'm very excited about. I did some on, when was that, Friday or Saturday, and then I did a little bit yesterday, and I did a lot more today. It's my favorite time of the year. Fuck you, it's January. Yeah, it's January. May chaos take the world. I haven't gotten that ending yet. I still to this day, I haven't gotten the Frenzy Flame ending in Elden Ring. I think there are 2 achievements that I haven't gotten. One of them is that, and the other one I think is the legendary sorceries, because I never play sorcery characters. I played an int character once, which was I think it was like a strength int. It was a Moonlight Greatsword build. It was a Moonveil into Dark Moon Greatsword build is what it was, and then but yeah, I was never big into sorceries. We will maybe eventually do that. I do have ideas for a sorcery build. But we'll worry about that once that time comes. I don't have major plans for... I mean, I do have major plans for Build Your Oshi, but, like, I don't know whether or not I want to jump right back into Elden Ring, like, as soon as the first Build Your Oshi video is up. Every time I try to go Sorcery in a Souls game, it always feels like a gimmick build no matter what. Right, yeah, it feels like... It feels like the most passive, stupid playstyle imaginable. In Elden Ring, it's definitely better, but it's, like, you can't primarily do sorcery. It's just so anti-me. I want to get in there and bonk you with a big stick until you stop moving. That was... wow, that was... You know, why cast 20 spell when Great Sword... Great. That sure was a thing that I just said. But yeah, I do... We gotta finish Sonic Adventure 2. That'll probably be this week, whether it's 1 stream, 2 streams, or 3 streams, I don't know. We'll see. And we gotta play Dark Souls 2. Because Kingslayer, and like that's all they got, all of the the kings in the that's like the whole gimmick with Dark Souls 2, isn't it? They're all like kings of different kingdoms and stuff. So we got to do that. I don't know. I don't necessarily want to be playing Elden Ring again while we're playing through Dark Souls 2. So it'll kind of all depend on how much traction the Build Your Oshi video gets. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into it, so hopefully it turns out really well. There are a few I've got like 12 minutes of it done. It's gonna end up being at least 20 minutes of a video. So we're doing pretty well. Gilgamesh, thank you for the sub. It's 12 months is crazy. Also, pretty sure you can't be subscribed for 12 months. I don't think my affiliate anniversary is until next month. So that's doesn't make sense. The fish game. Hello? What just happened with the fish? Is it okay? Are we? We're good. The fishing's good. It's fine. There was a dialogue message that popped up. I saw it on my OBS, but I didn't see. I couldn't read it. Time is dilating. I guess so. I fished up a branch. I'm so proud. But yeah, I don't know. I don't exactly have an ETA on when the video is going to be up. It's hopefully I'll be able to get it up like by the end of this week, maybe the end of next week. And then I think after that, after the video goes up, we'll kind of gauge what we want to do next. Because Dark Souls 2 is going to take me a long time, because I've never played it before, whereas Elden Ring can take me a long time, depending on who we end up building next. I do have a couple of ideas. I have like a ton of ideas, in fact. So it'll kind of depend on who we do next and how lucky we get in terms of early game killing stuff that we need to kill. So there's that. I do have a set collection of builds that I want to do next. I'm going to set them up in a poll over on Patreon. I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to plan out the future, but it's a little too chaotic here for that kind of thing right now. You kind of just got to go with the flow. So that's the way it's going to be. But I am thinking a lot about it because I've been working on the video. So I've been thinking a lot about playing more Elden Ring, doing more Build Your Oshi, and playing Dark Souls 2 because I know that's something that I wanted to do once I debuted this model. So yeah, it's kind of playing fast and loose this week and maybe next week too, with streams and what we'll be playing. But Sonic Adventure 2 for sure, because we already started that. I want to finish it, and then after that, either Dark Souls 2 or another Build Your Oshi. I don't really want to do both of those at the same time, but maybe we will. Maybe we could do that anyway. Maybe we just become a Souls streamer for a little while. Not something I would be opposed to doing. I do really like the Souls games. I love From Software. But, regardless of what we do, every Monday is Mythos Monday. Until we run out of Mythos, which we literally can't do. There's thousands of years of stories. So, without any further ado, hush, hush, hush. I think that's gonna be kosher. Game capture? No. What Phantom? Welcome in. Oh, and congratulations to Asai for claiming first. I forgot to say that before. Can I hold on? Is it set to? Oh, that's why. Hello. There you go. I gotta mute that too. All right. I don't know about you guys, but it is a cozy kind of night. So get yourself some hot chockey and bundle up. Can't stay long, but I figured I'd pop in. Thanks for popping in, Phantom. It's always good to see you. February 5th. 5th. Day 6. I don't remember what happened last time. I'm pretty sure it was just a lot of talking. And then, oh no, yeah, I remember what happened last time. 2 girls moved into our house, and Fujine was not happy about it. I also just remembered that we got to pull up the flowchart. Because if I don't, we might die. And I want to try to avoid dying. Weather update. We can die today. I'm gonna try not to. Anyway. The story commence. A night passed. After getting ready, just like I would on any normal morning, and heading to the living room, I am greeted by the most complicated breakfast table scene of my life. What's up, Clay? Gilgamesh, stop checking out Kagi's ass. Damn. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty to look at, but sure, it's not gonna. Oh, sorry, Sakura. I can't eat butter. Pass me the marmalade. Is that so? I thought you didn't enjoy sweet things, Miss Tosaka. That's nonsense. All girls like sweets. It's not that I don't like sweet things. I just shouldn't have too much of them. If I'm not careful, things could start building up in places I can't see. So I limit myself to eating sweets once a week. Huh? So why marmalade? I have sugar in the morning. Besides, I should have some sweet things, or I might pay for it later. I see. Even if you only eat twice a day, it would be a big problem if you ended up eating twice as much. Exactly. Hey, I wasn't going to say anything, but you sure eat a lot, Saber. You might have a small frame, but you eat just as much as Sakura. Do you think so? I think I eat an average amount. I would like to point out that the toast Sakura ate was twice the size of mine. That's not true. Miss Tosaka, Saber and I were all served 2 pieces of toast. Yes, but the thickness was different. It was 1 centimeter thick, while the other was 2 centimeters, which tells me you eat quite a lot, Sakura. You are in a growth spurt, so there's no problem with you taking in nutrients. Rin, instead of eating only 1 slice, you should eat everything that has been served to you. I said I can't, okay? Everything I eat doesn't just go straight to my chest like Sakura. And if I eat all that in the morning, I'll just end up storing it. I don't usually even eat breakfast, so I'm already compromising. Damn, she really said it, huh? Miss Tosaka, I suggest you not say that in front of Senpai. You continue mentioning that you accumulate things, but why are you avoiding using specific terms, Rina? Like I said, places I can't see on my body. Well, Sakura accumulates in places you can see, so she doesn't count. Alright, gentlemen, the ultimate question. Tits or ass? That's clearly what she's implying. It's not veiled at all. I'm a heretic. Bro's about to say feet out here. Boobas. Boobas. I do find it difficult to choose, but I'm always leaning towards well, there's a reason I like Tosaka better. Let's just leave it at that. Please don't talk about that kind of thing. I like that emote. I take a bite of my crispy toast. My brain just can't follow the situation unfolding in front of me, so I just stay out of it and focus on my toast. Good, but you really got me with that. That's really funny. Man, I fucking love Twitch emotes, dude. That really you caught me off guard with that one. I am a Seiso streamer. 3 different wolves. We love wolf girls. And wolf boys. Not gonna exclude myself. We love wolf tubers. And real wolves. We just love wolves, okay? We just love wolves. There's nothing for me to really add to this anyway. I guess I was worried over nothing. For the time being, the 3 seem to be getting along. Tosaka's the same as always, and Saber's warmed up to the girls as a good bit more than last night. Sakura still seems a little hesitant around Saber, but it doesn't look like she dislikes her. I'm concerned that Fujine's not here, but I'm sure she'll come tonight. Last night must have done a number on her. But she'll probably come by for dinner, and I think she'll be in a better mood by then. Breakfast ends, and I start cleaning up. Senpai, are you sure it's okay to leave the washing to you? Yeah, it's the least I can do. You have to get going to your club, Sakura. Considering what happened yesterday, you should probably go. Yes, I'll go on ahead, Senpai. Sakura bows to Tosaka too, and leaves the living room in a hurry. Now there are only 3 of us. With Sakura gone, the people remaining all share a common secret. Well, I shall excuse myself as well. Please call for me if you need anything. Bye, Saber. I'll look after Shiro, so keep an eye on the house while we're gone. Yes, please take good care of Shiro, Rin. Saber bows quickly, then returns to her room. Well, there's nothing to do here anymore. So she's probably going back to sleep to conserve energy. Honestly, is fighting the only thing she thinks about? Of course it is. And you should start showing a bit of motivation on that front, or Saber's going to lose patience with you. Her wounds may not be completely healed, but she's not the type to just sit around doing nothing for long. There's a clicking sound. What Tosaka has to say worries me a bit, but she just turns on the TV. This news again. The TV plays the morning news. I just listen from the kitchen as I wash dishes. But it's the same story that I've heard before. There's another gas leak incident in Shinto. What a stupid story. Stuff like this is happening here too. It's not just going on over there. What? Hold up. What Tosaka says there is pretty worrying. Tosaka, what do you mean by that? It's about people suddenly getting weak without a real explanation, right? How people are passing out without warning and then they end up hospitalized in a coma. There must be a lot of people affected by now. At least nobody's lives are in imminent danger, but I suppose that's all down to whoever's controlling this. What? Wait. Hold up. Is she saying that this incident isn't just happening a town over, it's happening here too? Unexplained comas? A good number of victims? No, but the main issue is... Tosaka, don't tell me you think a master did this. Who else? Come on, get used to it already. You're a master too, you know. Okay, maybe so, but why didn't you tell me this before, Tosaka? Because there's no easy fix here. The master who cast the bounded field over school is a third class, but whoever is causing these incidents across the whole town is first class. They're skilled enough to extract the power they need from the people without killing them. And while gathering energy that way might be slower, they're staying within the rules for mages, and they don't need to exert themselves to accomplish this. This master is stealing the life force from everyone in town, one of the simplest forms of magical energy from a remote location. From a remote location? Can someone really collect magical energy from a distance? They must be a really skilled mage. Only a truly great mage would be able to cast a net over 2 towns like Shinto and Miyama to absorb energy like that. Or maybe they lucked into a superb spiritual sight. Excuse me, I got caught by a yawn. Father mentioned that Fuyuki has a ley line, so if they build a base there, it would be easy to collect life forces. Huh? Hold on, Tosaka. I didn't find any materials in Father's study about this, so if there are any, they'll be in the Great Master's study. I really don't want to go in there. The place is uninhabited and scary. Which would mean I might have to ask Kirei. No, I really don't want to owe him anything. Tosaka, hey. I try to get her attention, but she doesn't respond. Great. Tosaka's off in her own world. When we get to school, she's still distracted. The gate is packed with arriving students, beginning another typical school day. But I sense there's something off. Yesterday, I passed through the gate without noticing, but today, I do now that I'm on my guard. It's hard to explain, but there's this feeling that things are too calm. So much so that it numbs one's instincts. You're right. The air feels different in here than outside. It smells like sweet honey. Oh, so that's how it feels for you? You don't have any skill at detecting magical energy, but you might be sensitive to changes in the world around you. Tosaka begins pondering. A sweet smell like honey, huh? Like a carnivorous plant, maybe. Yep, that's a good way to put it. A carnivorous plant? That's disturbing. You think so? I don't think it's off the mark, though. I mean, once the bounded field over the school closes, everyone inside gets eaten. She sees right through me, and I gulp. I knew it. I love that I can read you like a book. Whatever. Well, I don't like it. Oh, don't get so mad. I know what you want to say, so relax. I know you don't want all the students getting dragged into this, and I wouldn't want this to be a battlefield either. See? So there's only one thing for us to do. She's testing me. Tosaka's trying to tell me that this master I'm willing to fight in the Holy Grail War is the sort willing to hurt innocents to win, which is why they're here at the school. I know. We need to find the master who set up this bounded field and take care of it. And if they say they're not going to take down the bounded field, then we just need to defeat them. That's right. Glad you got it. I'm going to go search for whoever set this bounded field, so you go and check anywhere that seems suspicious. I've done some searching already, but I might have missed something. And it looks like you're good at finding singularities like this, so I'll let a specialist try his hand. Tosaka waves and runs toward the school building. Hey, don't just leave me hanging. What kind of places are suspicious, Tosaka? To quote you, anywhere the air is sweet. You just need to find places that are nauseatingly syrupy and sweet. Tosaka yells her reply at me from across campus. And then she disappears into the school building. What the hell? Why would she need to run in there like that? Oh. The bell for homeroom rings. That's why. She should have at least warned me. I clutch my bag and start running at full speed. After all that happened yesterday, I don't know what Fujine will say if I'm late. It's lunchtime. Temporary though this break from classes is, students rush back and forth across the whole school. Okay, it won't look suspicious if I wander around now. I wolf down my lunch and head into the hallway. This really isn't the time to say I've never done anything like this. The war has already begun, so I need to look for anything suspicious, like what Tosaka was talking about, in my own way. I guess the first place to look would be wherever there's not usually anyone around. Let's see. I just hope I can make some progress without wasting this 1-hour lunch break. After I've searched the building, I take a look outside just to be sure. I didn't see anything strange at the athletic fields or behind the buildings, but this area seems different. Don't tell me this is... I found a few suspicious spots around campus. Behind the stairway, dead ends, empty classrooms, and other less public places. This place is different. Everyone gathers here every day, so it's a far cry from the isolated, deserted places I've checked. Excuse me. How did I not notice this earlier? This place is the most bizarre place of all. I clutch at my chest as I speak. The atmosphere here is suffocating. The heavy wind and humid air make being here at all damned uncomfortable. As soon as I realize what I'm smelling, I find myself getting nauseous. Tosaka said that there should be a base points for bounded fields. I don't know how many there are, but I think the first must be somewhere around here. If I'm right, there should be some inscription or sign of it somewhere. It's no use. I don't have the abilities to detect magical energy, so there's no way I can find any signs that a bounded field is formed. I guess I have no choice but to report back to Tosaka. Oh, it's you. Looking for something, Emiya? Who's there? I whirl around when I hear that voice. There, standing in front of the Kyudo Club dojo, is... Hey, what a coincidence. I was actually heading that way myself. You didn't happen to see it, did you? Shinji grins. Shinji Mato seems genuinely pleased with himself. See what? I don't see anything around here. Ah, you did see it. I get it now. So that's why you and Tosaka were together. Yeah. Teaming up with other masters is an efficient way to go. What? Shinji, don't tell me. Hey, chill, Emiya. It's between you and me. We shouldn't be hiding anything from each other. I don't know what the hell is following you around, but you got forced into this shitty role as master too, right? Shinji is so blunt about this. Not an ounce of hesitation. He is a master, and not at all shy about it. Don't tell me you're a master, Shinji. That's what I've been saying. But hey, don't get me wrong. I got no intention of fighting anyone. Sure, I'll kill anyone who tries attacking me, but I won't do anything if people leave me alone. See? We're a lot alike in that regard, aren't we? I don't know about you, Chad, but I don't trust him for a second. Shinji giggles. From what he's saying, it's clear he's a master, but... I'm actually surprised to learn that you are a master, Emiya. So, why don't we have a little chat? One shocked master to another. Chat. I don't mind, but what are we going to be chatting about? About what's going to happen, obviously. I already told you I have no plans to fight, but the rest of the participants sure do. So it'd be best to be ready for anything that might come our way, don't you think? It might be scary alone, but not so much if there's two of us. Is Shinji asking me to team up with him? Well, this probably isn't the best place to talk about this kind of stuff. Who knows who might be listening? Why don't we go somewhere else? This guy, the school bully. Yeah, this is Sakura's older brother. Whom I hate with every fiber of my being. Maybe we can talk at my house. Tosaka wouldn't be able to spy on us there, and we'll be safe even if we're attacked. Go somewhere else? Are you crazy? Lunch break's almost over, so if we wanted to talk... You are so freaking boring. So what if we skip class? Let's just go. I'm glad to know you're a master too. Don't ruin the moment. That's no reason to go. People would be suspicious if we skipped class. You just won't budge, will you? Oh, I get it. Yeah, you're right. You should be on guard. But don't worry, I'm not going to attack you. No matter what. Do you really take me for the kind of guy to stab you in the back? Chad, I want you to look at his face. Does that look like the face of someone who would stab you in the back? Yes. My answer is yes. Yes, that looks exactly like the face of someone who would stab me in the back. Good, I'm glad we're all in agreement here. Huh? Oh. Yeah. I guess I shouldn't just casually follow you, huh? Well, whatever. You have a servant hanging around you too, so I'm not going to pick a fight with someone so dangerous. Right, he can't sense our servant. So he assumes that they're in spirit form, when in reality, Saber's at home. So that's a hell of a bluff. Huh? Does Shinji think I have Saber with me right now? Actually, no. Shinji just can't see the servant in spirit form. That's why he thinks I have Saber with me. Alright, I'll just keep my mouth shut and let... I'll just keep my mouth shut and let Shiro do the explaining. Because, that's exactly what I just said. Just come on. If Tosaka finds out, neither one of us will live to tell the tale. Shinji starts to walk away. I guess I have no choice but to follow him. I'm interested to hear what Shinji has to say, so at this point, I should just give up on attending afternoon classes. Bit of a gamble, but probably a good idea to gather as much intel on Shinji as possible. We walk up the hill. We're in a residential area with Western-style houses in stark contrast to my house. I hear Tosaka's house is at the top of this hill, and I remember the Mato house is right below it, like it's trying to hide or something. The Mato house is still as impressive as I remember. I visited a few times during middle school, but I haven't been near it recently. I haven't been invited since Shinji and I drifted apart, and above all, Sakura doesn't like me coming here. It's daytime, but the mansion is dark. The whole place is designed so that sunlight doesn't get in, and there's not much in the way of lighting inside. There's honestly a decent enough chance of someone smacking into a wall if they don't know the layout of the place. This way, Emiya. I'm in the living room. I don't know when he got there, but I hear Shinji's voice from the back of the mansion. Even after a year, I still remember my way around the house, so I'm able to find the living room easily enough. There's nothing in the way of lighting, even in the living room. The curtain is pulled shut, blocking out the sun. Not a hint of artificial light either, so the place is dark and gloomy. Over here, Emiya. I turn toward the voice. There, I see Shinji sitting on a chair, and... Ooh. A woman, dark like obsidian, standing behind him. Let me introduce her. This is my servant, Ryder. I bet she does. A chill runs down my spine. The chill is so intense it stings the back of my neck. I thought we were going to talk alone, Shinji. I take a step back. Don't mind her. She's just here as a precaution. I wouldn't want you taking the chance to ambush me. I'd rather have her nearby. Shinji reaches out towards his dark servant, Ryder. His fingers caress along her waist, then stroke down her thigh. Ryder doesn't move a muscle. She is still as a statue, keeping watch on me through veiled eyes. I can imagine she can even see my fingertips shivering. Some hospitality you're showing to a guest you invited. You might be going a bit far with your caution, Shinji. I'm just kidding. I know perfectly well you're not the type to do something like that. Your servant's another story, though. Training this one took me a while, actually. It's not unusual for a servant to ignore their master's orders, so just think of this as me keeping an eye on things. Yeah, you didn't hear this from me, but this is not the last time we're gonna see Shinji doing stuff like that. I really don't like him at all. A servant who doesn't obey their master. Now that I look closer, Ryder is a little different than Saber. Saber is silent, but she's not frosty. I sense only coldness from Ryder. A human almost completely lacking humanity. A dark figure like that, a dark figure that looks like the blood in its veins has discolored. She doesn't give the impression of a heroic spirit turned servant. I can only sense something inorganic, devoid of any light. So Ryder is your way of keeping my servant in check? Can't say I love that. Sorry about that, but I'm an amateur, you know. I'm not used to this kind of stuff, unlike you. You'll have to forgive me for that. Can't say I'm exactly used to this either. So Shinji assumes that because we're a master that we're a more experienced mage than he is. He assumes completely wrongly because we are not at all as experienced as, well, I mean technically we're more experienced than Shinji, but we'll get into the details about that later. That's so. Oh, then why don't you call yours out too? That'll help us understand each other, and things will be even. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, Emiya. I showed you mine, so show me yours. Shinji really thinks Saber's right next to me. It's probably best to let him keep thinking that. I refuse. If you're just doing this to keep me in check, you shouldn't mind. He's the one who put up the barrier. I want to say technically Ryder did. But yes. I think. Unless I'm remembering wrong. That should be enough if I'm just here to talk. What the hell? Don't you get it? I said I want to see it. I don't know why you're being a little shit. I don't know why you're being a little shit about it, but I think it'd be in your best interest to listen to me. Then we're done talking. I didn't come here to show off our servants. If that's what you wanted, I'm heading home. Fine. You're useless as usual. He moans discontentedly as he slumps further into his chair. Okay, let's talk then. There's really only one thing I want to talk about anyway. Yeah. As I was saying earlier, want to team up with me, Emiya? I might have become a master, but I don't know what the hell a Holy Grail War even is. I'd rather work with someone I know I can trust than do this by myself. Hold up. I want to ask you something. My answer will depend on your response. What's that? You want to know why I became a master? I nod. As far as I know, Shinji's not a mage. Until I find out how Shinji was selected to be a master, I don't intend on working with him. I hear mages are the only ones who can be masters. I may be inexperienced, but I am training in magecraft. I became a master because I formed a contract with a servant by sheer coincidence. Did you accidentally summon a servant and get dragged into this Holy Grail War too? Now, Shiro, I'm pretty sure that was too much information. Don't tell him how inexperienced you are. Don't tell him that you summoned your servant by accident. And don't assume that he's anything like you. If that's what happened with him, we're in the same boat. I don't think I'd be able to refuse his proposal to team up in that case. Huh. So, you became a master by coincidence, huh? Good. That's a more reasonable explanation. Shinji giggles like it's the funniest thing he's ever heard. Well, I guess something similar happened with me. At least in that I was forced into becoming a master like you. Don't get me wrong, though. I knew what masters were, and I've known about the Holy Grail War forever now. Unlike your family, the Mato family is a respected line of mages. The shade. What? The Matos are a family of mages? I've never heard of that before. Wait, does that mean you... and Sakura, his sister, have also trained in magecraft? Calm down, Emiya. The Mato family may be a family of mages, but its powers won't run dry. The Mato ancestors apparently rooted themselves here along with the Tosaka family, but they couldn't adapt well to Japan. And as generations went, the, magic circuits? Yeah, those started to dwindle, and by the time I was born, the Mato bloodline was pretty much back to the point of being more or less ordinary humans. That's why there are no mages in the Mato family. It's just a line that used to be mages. Used to be mages. So now the only thing that remains in your family is your knowledge of magecraft. Yeah, unfortunately. But even if we don't have any magic circuits, we're still able to learn magecraft. I managed to look up everything about Masters and Holy Grail Wars easily enough, and I was able to keep my emotions under control when I found myself being a master because of my ancestors' teachings. Take a quick moment here and boost the levels on the game capture. I think I forgot to reset it after we had played Sonic Adventure. Boost that back up a little bit. That should be plenty. That should be plenty loud now. Might have to turn it back down a little bit, but it was probably way quiet before. I see. When I became a master, it was Tosaka who taught me about the Holy Grail Wars. So similarly, Shinji was able to understand his own situation thanks to the writings his family had passed down. In other words, you only learned about magecraft itself. Does that mean Sakura has been learning about magecraft too? Huh. You don't know anything, do you? Listen, old mage families only pass down their secret knowledge to a single person. If there are two children, the oldest male becomes the heir. Splitting something in two just dilutes its power. A mage's job is to collect 10 magecraft disciplines and crystallize them, then leave that to the heir to strengthen their bloodline. There are no exceptions, not even for family. That's why mage families don't teach magecraft to anyone other than their heirs. Children who weren't selected to be the family's successor either never learn that their family practices magecraft, or they're sent to be adopted by a different family. Write that down. I see. That's a relief. I sigh in relief. I want Sakura to live a normal, peaceful life, having nothing to do with magecraft. I would never want her to get involved in a battle that forces someone to fight without reason. So, now do you get it, Emiya? I may have become a master, but I've got no power in magecraft. You, on the other hand, said you can use a little, but you have next to no knowledge of magecraft. See? Don't you think we're a good match? We were both forced to be masters. Let's work together. I don't have a problem with that. I just want to be clear, though. You're proposing this to protect yourself, right? In part, yes. But I think we'll need to work on getting rid of our immediate enemy first. I feel like she's been giving me the evil eye. Giving you the evil eye? Are you talking about Tosaka? Of course I am. She wouldn't be treating me like crap otherwise. Listen, she'll be relentless against the other masters. You should know that by now, since you've been with her for a while. I don't know what's gotten into her, but for some reason, Tosaka has warmed to you. Why would a girl who never drops her guard do that? So come on. Don't you think this is our opportunity to defeat her? Shinji holds out his hand to shake. I won't be a part of that. Actually, I can't. If Shinji really wanted to protect himself, he would have asked Tosaka too, not just me. Besides, Shinji, do you know there's someone overseeing this Holy Grail War? Yeah, the priest at the church, right? I heard he was a survivor of the previous war, but I haven't met him. He seems annoying. I'm not a mage, so I don't want anyone to push their rules on me. Shinji's contradicting himself. If he really wanted to stop fighting, he should have gone straight to Kotomine. Shinji, did you know there's a bounded field set up over the school? Yep. I didn't notice, but Ryder told me. What about it? Isn't it your doing? Tosaka said it was the work of a master at school. Oh. Well, it's not me. I know there's another master at our school, so it's probably them. Tosaka said there's only one other master. I wouldn't recommend just blindly trusting Tosaka. Either way, she's wrong. Tosaka's trying to trace masters by sensing their magic circuits, right? If so, I wouldn't be one of the masters she could detect, since I don't have magic circuits to begin with. From the very beginning, I wouldn't even be a blip on the other master's radars. I see. The presence of mages or command spells ultimately activates through magical energy. But if someone without magical energy becomes a master, the only way to identify them would be seeing them directly. Tosaka's method of seeking out people with their own magical energy wouldn't lead her to masters like Shinji. Shinji doesn't have a single one of the traits Tosaka's expecting in a master. I see. So Tosaka must be sensing a different master. I should warn Tosaka about this when I get home. With that settled, there's no point in me staying here any longer. Hey, Amiya. What about our partnership? I'll have to refuse. I'm not going to help you defeat Tosaka. Besides, she hasn't done anything. I know I'll have to fight her one day. But I trust her right now, and I want to keep on trusting her. When something does happen, it'll be too late. But if that's how you feel, I'm not going to push it. I'll wait it out and see, just like you. Surprisingly, Shinji gives up. He doesn't try to stop me from going home, and he doesn't send Ryder to attack me. Shinji really is a complicated guy. He may act like a jerk, but he seems to try to play fair in his own way. Hey Shinji, I know I'm harping on this. Does Sakura know about you? She doesn't, and I don't intend on telling her. I'm the heir to the Mato family. Sakura can just remain my little sister and be none the wiser. That would be great. I don't want Sakura's life to change. Fine. Since I'm her big brother, I should be thanking you for being so concerned about Sakura. Okay. Let me tell you something good, Emiya. I don't know who it is, but one of the masters has set up a nest for themselves in the temple. What? The temple? You mean Ryudo Temple? Yeah. According to my servant, there's a witch living in the mountains. She's supposedly collecting a bunch of souls, so things are going to get ugly if nobody does anything about her. What? If that's true, that makes 5 masters. And if this witch is collecting a massive amount of souls, there's a high probability it's the cause of what came up in the news this morning. It's obviously a trap. That's all I've got for you. Ryder, see him out. You're not to harm Emiya, since he's on our side. Filo. Shinji orders Ryder, and she walks closer to me. No, well, that's... Don't worry about it. I'm responsible for your safety as long as you're in my house. It wouldn't do for you to get hurt or anything like that. Oh, Ryder. You only have to see him as far as the front door. Once he's out of the house, he's not my concern. But treat him well until then. Shinji retreats to the back room. Alright, we've got ads up, so I'm going to take a short break. Now's the time to get up, get some stretches in, grab a snack or a beverage or a blanket or whatever floats your boat, makes you comfy. I'll be here. I'm a little peckish, though. We'll worry about that later. Sire, you still lurking here. I just checked my phone and I got a notification from Patreon. You little rascal. Thank you, man. It means a lot to me. So I will admit, back when I first watched Fate Stay Night, the original, for the Studio Dean version, back in, like, I don't know, 2006 or whenever that was. Actually, I probably didn't actually watch. I think it came out in 06. I don't know if I watched it until, like, 2010 or 12 or whatever. Yeah, back, like, forever ago. Whether or not I was just not paying attention, I don't know, but it was always a little unclear to me who exactly set up the bounded field at the school. At first I thought it was Shinji and Ryder, and they were just tricking us, and then it seemed like Medea, or Caster, was playing a much bigger role. So then I thought that it was Caster, and then once I went and watched Unlimited Blade Works, when that anime came out, it seemed like it was Ryder again. So I'm not entirely sure who actually did it. I'm pretty sure it was Ryder. But maybe that's one of the things that got kind of lost in the adaptation. Maybe it depends on which route you're on. Maybe, yes, there's a bounded field at the school, but who set it up, who's actually using it, is just it's a plot hook for the story rather than a plot point. It's the bounded field is used later on in being referenced by whatever serpent happens to have put it up, because I know Ryder's abilities allow her to do so, and Caster obviously has the magical energy to be able to do that. As for any of the other servants, I don't think they could. Except maybe Assassin, but it wouldn't seem like it. Spoilers. Anyway, we are out of ad territory, so one more sip of my gamer juice, and we'll get back into it. I remember Lancer being cool. Saber and Emio were in love or something. Saber is a golden armored guy at the end. Oh, and Tiger, yeah. Yeah, I remember the golden armored guy. If you don't remember anything else about him, I'm not going to spoil it. And I remember a lot of stuff involving Elia that, like, wasn't from the Fate route. It was, like, drawing stuff from other routes and involving it in the anime. And that's why a lot of people didn't like it, was because it kind of tried halfway through to be about all of the routes, and that kind of messed it up. I silently look towards Ryder. She's really pretty. She's very mid-2000s. She's also very pretty. Yeah, I should watch the recent animes. I definitely recommend them. Unlimited Blade Works is my favorite route, and the Heaven's Feel films are phenomenal, and I especially like the sound design involving Ryder in those films. Yeah, I definitely recommend them. Studio Ufotable, the same studio that did Demon Slayer, so you know you're in for some flashy stuff. She looks like a victim. I feel sorry for her. Well, you may be onto something, and that's all I'll say about that. I think Unlimited Blade Works should be on Netflix, but again, I know Netflix varies. Their library varies by country, so I'd take a peek. If it's not there, I don't know where else to tell you, honestly. I don't know about the Heaven's Feel movies either. I don't know if those are. I don't know if you can find those anywhere without just buying them on DVD or something. DVD. It's fucking 2025. Nobody's buying DVDs anymore. Anyway. The black-garbed rider says nothing. What surprises me, though, is that when I take a closer look, I notice she has a graceful and innocent-looking face. Her floor-length purple hair exudes a foul odor of blood, but at the same time, she's unbelievably beautiful. I realize I'm staring because of her appearance, and I'm embarrassed for a moment, but I feel like her face and her outfit just don't match at all. If I had to boil her down to a single phrase, she's like a priestess dripping in blood. She is both holy and evil. Ryder is a walking contradiction. Actually, why are all heroic spirits so beautiful? As I think this, I find myself looking up at Ryder's face out of sheer curiosity. Wow, she's pretty tall for a woman. She's easily 170 centimeters tall. This really isn't the time for calm observation. Being alone with her is a problem in itself. I should hurry out of the Mato mansion. Ryder sticks with me all the way to the entrance. I don't know about this. She doesn't even seem alive, but maybe she'll answer if I try talking to her. Let's chat up the tall, pretty lady. Ryder, was what Shinji said earlier true? I ask, not really expecting a response. There's no change in Ryder, just her long hair fluttering in the wind. I figured as much. Sorry for asking such a stupid question when we're supposed to be enemies. I step out through the door, raising my hand to show her my appreciation for seeing me out. But then, he did not lie. There is a witch living in the mountains. Ryder? You must proceed with caution if you intend to challenge her. That witch knows how the minds of men work. Ryder speaks indifferently. I realize her voice is drawing me in, and shake my head to clear it. Thanks for the warning. And take good care of Shinji. As you can see, he's a bit of a pain, but I hope you can protect him. I catch myself getting surprised, but I manage to reply. I guess that was funny, because you are a noble soul. I can see why Shinji warmed to you. Ryder giggles softly, then disappears into the Mato house. Fla. Thought she'd be way softer, but that was actually very strong and assertive. Right, exactly. It's very well done. I love how even if you don't understand the language, you can totally read the tone of each character. Tosaka's like a little smug and haughty. Sakura is like innocent to a fault. Saber is well, like Shiro described, she's stern, but she's not cold. And Ryder is cold, but shockingly gentle, and still rather forceful. There's something behind all that. And Shinji's a dick, and I love that. I love how well the characters' personalities are portrayed in the tone of the voice work, let alone the actual words they use. But that's why voice acting is an art. I walk down the hill and return to the intersection. If I walk towards the residential area on the other side, I'll be heading home, but there's a master at Ryudo Temple, huh? It's about an hour's walk towards this mountain from here. The desolate mountain road eventually reaches the gates of Ryudo Temple. Ryudo Temple is a big temple up on the mountain. It's about the size of our school. The cemetery is large. The temple itself is like a small world of its own, with about 50 training monks living on its grounds. The people in town use the Ryudo Temple for various purposes, but they also respect it as a sacred place that shouldn't be entered lightly. Now that I think about it, I haven't been to Ryudo Temple recently. I haven't been there ever since I stayed there for some mental training last summer. I know temple life is harsh during the winter, so I was thinking about visiting during winter break. What's the guy who cut afternoon classes doing here? Caught. Speak of the devil. I run into Ryudo Temple's heir, Issei Ryudo, on the road. Hey there. Is school over? Obviously. I don't have anything to do for the student council, so I was heading home. There's something wrong. You look like you were staring up at the mountain. No, there's nothing wrong. I just felt like going home. Teachers would be out of a job if people like you just cut classes whenever they felt like it. Anyway, I'm curious why you're staring at the mountain. It's nothing. But can I ask you something? Has anything strange happened recently? Change is a constant, but it doesn't lead to big dramatic developments. The mountain is always at peace, and peace is the focus of daily life. Spoken like a monk. Issei, I'm being serious here. How dare you? So am I. Guess you are. Sorry to bother you. It's fine as long as you understand. I'd never kid around with you, Emiya. Issei clears his throat to calm himself down. Though I do have to report that there has been a change. That said, I'm not entirely sure how to explain it. A change? At the temple? Yeah, but not of the mountain. However, the situation has left everyone in the temple restless. We have a guest at the temple, and they're apparently an acquaintance of my father, but the awkwardness is because of them. She's a beautiful woman, which makes it a touchy subject. Honestly, I don't know why there's such a fuss over a woman. So what Ryder said appears to be true, but it also appears that Issei doesn't know what's really going on. A woman? Does Ryudo Temple have any nuns? No, but they've made an exception for her, and we're letting her use a room until the wedding happens. Well, she really is beautiful, so I have to admit that even I get captivated by her looks whenever I go out and fetch water from the well. What do you mean, an exception? Issei? Hey, are you even listening? Apologies. This is why women are bad news. Reject lust, Issei. Calm down, Issei. The student council president mumbles some sort of sutra. Hello? You okay, Issei? I'm quite alright. I'm just not as disciplined, so it's a matter of training harder. I can tell he's not listening. Issei continues to mumble, giving himself a pep talk, and disappears into the town's outskirts. You know, it's always the people who seem to be the most disciplined that always complain about a lack of discipline in themselves. I find that interesting. By the time I get back home, the sun is almost setting. And just like yesterday, I'm the first one back home. Sakura and Fujine will probably get here soon too, and Tosaka will come home later on. I'll mention what I learned from Shinji after Sakura and Fujine go home. There's no point in talking in secret when those two are around. Having decided that, I'd better prepare dinner. Expect from others only what you expect from yourself. Something like that, yeah. Tosaka beat me with her cooking last night, and I need to do something to improve Fujine's mood. The secret ingredient to a great dish is time and effort, rather than love. If I want to guarantee my win, I'll have to spend double the time I usually would on cooking. And so, here's what happened. I didn't lose. Tosaka, you are such a meanie. Let me reiterate. I'm not talking about the food's taste. According to you, tonight's dinner was the best you've ever tasted, so why not share it with everyone? I don't think that's what you meant. You said you didn't want to eat the food Shiro made. I was only talking about breakfast. I will eat dinner like everyone, and Emiya. And Emiya and I made an arrangement to take turns cooking dinner. So what reason is there for me not to eat? If you don't like that, you are welcome to take my turn cooking tomorrow. So brazen. She strikes right at my weakness. Damn. I never imagined you were such a bad student. And with that, Fujine reluctantly returns the wooden container of rice to the dining table. 5 servings of my specialty mixed rice safely return to the dining table. Come on, Fujine. I made plenty of food today, so there's no need to hoard it. I made enough rice and side dishes for everyone. Munch, munch. You may be right, Senpai, but this might be a bit too much even for you. Clack, clack. Yes, a double-tiered barrel with food is enough for 4. A double-tiered barrel with food enough for 4 people is certainly over the top. Chomp, chomp. It's not a barrel. It's a round wooden container for rice. The main dish is rice today, so I made extra. If we have any leftovers, I'll make them into rice balls for lunch tomorrow. Munch, munch. Oh, can I get in on that lunch thing? I don't like fried rice made from leftover rice, but this is exceptional. There's all kinds of stuff in this rice. What's inside? Chew, chew. This is basically mushroom mixed rice, correct? And instead of using bean curd, you've mixed in yuzu citrus to make it aromatic. Such detail. I don't know about y'all, but I wouldn't exactly eat moth in my rice. That was a stupid fucking joke. Anyway. Clank, clank. Fine. I'm going to eat this all by myself. Just you watch. Fujine must have given up monopolizing the wooden container of rice, but she starts to shovel food in her mouth with alarming speed. And you get it. Yuzu is another VTuber. She's a mod VTuber. And then they said Yuzu citrus in the rice, so that's. It was a bad joke anyway. Don't even worry about it. That was just me being stupid. The moment her rice bowl is empty, she thrusts it out, requesting another helping. That's fine, but you really don't need to rush. There's plenty, Fujine. Don't mind me. I'm going to eat all the food that you made, Shiro. I won't let some stranger who just barged into our lives eat any of this food. Fujine snatches the rice bowl. Huh? I really don't get it. Sakura laughs uncomfortably. Tosaka looks exasperated and ignores Fujine. And Saber just sits, eating her food. I worked pretty hard to make all this, but it's looking like that might have backfired. The dinner, which I'd intended to make Tosaka admit defeat, ended boisterously thanks to Fujine's eccentric behavior. Clay just got taken out mid-sentence. Moth juice. Yeah. I'll be heading home, Senpai.
Oh.
Yeah. Fujine, get Sakura home safely. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. Fujine takes Sakura's hand, and they turn to go. What? You're looking at me weird, Shiro. Of course I am. No normal person could have moved after eating so much. You think so? I felt a bit full, but it was fine after I finished eating it all. And the problem is that Taiga doesn't realize that people have limits. You can't really expect something like that from a wild tiger. Hopefully, we can try to keep her contained so she doesn't run wild in polite society. See you tomorrow. Don't stay up too late, you two. Yes. Good night, senpai. Yep. Night, Shiro. I see the two off and go back to the living room. I mentioned I had something to tell them after dinner, so Tosaka and Saber are sitting in the living room looking serious. Good work today. So, what did you want to tell us? It's about the other masters. There's something I want to tell you too. Saber's brow furrows slightly. As a servant, her life is focused on combat, rather than a peaceful daily routine. I still don't think her wounds have completely healed. Even with her healing powers, the chest wound Lancer's noble phantasm inflicted won't heal quickly. With that in mind, I hesitate to tell them about Shinji. I'm the same as Shinji. I'd want to avoid fighting as much as I can, and I don't think it's right for a young girl like Saber to wield a sword. God, I wish she'd get over that. Shiro, do you not have something to tell us? Oh, yeah. Let me get right to the point. I met Ryder and her master today. What? Ryder's master? When did that happen? That is absurd. What were you thinking, meeting an enemy master alone? Whoa, hold on. Calm down, it's okay. I didn't get hurt or anything. Don't get so mad. Do not get mad. No, I am certainly not angry. I am simply stupefied by your actions, Shiro. Ditto. Well, there's no point in getting angry over what's done. So explain yourself, Shiro. Tosaka and Saber are glaring at me, obviously furious. Crap. I knew they would say something about me being rash, but I never imagined they would be so livid. I met the master this afternoon. I just followed him because he said he wanted to talk, and I didn't fight him or anything. Yeah, I can tell. So, what kind of person was Ryder's master? What sort of person? It was Shinji. He called out to me when I was walking around school looking for sources of the bounded field. He said he wanted to talk, so I followed him to the Mato house. What? Shinji? You mean the Shinji? Yeah. Ryder was obeying Shinji, and he knew about the Holy Grail War. Apparently, the Mato family is a noble family of mages. Yes, that's true. But that's impossible. The Mato family should have completely diminished by now. No matter what they tried, no child of the Mato family could have magic circuits. We got the remix of this soundtrack. I like that. That kind of techno. Alright, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Tosaka seems pretty sure of what she's saying. If she says so, then Shinji and Sakura really don't have any magic circuits. Yeah, Shinji said the same thing. But he said he still knows about magecraft, and that since he's the eldest male, that knowledge was passed down to him. So Sakura doesn't know anything. Anyway, that means he's a master similar to me. He doesn't have any magical energy, so you weren't able to detect him. I see. My mistake. I should have known there would be cases like him. As long as he had grimoires lying around, he could certainly become a master. That means he saw right through everything I was doing. How could I be so careless? Tosaka's beating herself up for what she's done so far. She may be almost flawless, but it seems like she can be kind of ditzy too. The problem is, most of those gas turn out to be fatal. I screwed up. I should have kept a closer eye on Shinji. Had I known, I wouldn't have let him construct that bounded field. Oh, about that. Shinji said he wasn't the one who set up the bounded field over the school. He said there's another master at school. Yes, I suppose that would be true. It's pretty obvious there's a master at school we're not aware of. But Shiro, don't tell me you believed Shinji when he said he wasn't the one who set up the bounded field. No, I'm not that much of a sucker. As long as Shinji's in our school, I'd give it a 50-50 chance that it's his doing. The other half is done by the other master. 50-50, huh? If you think that's the ratio, you really are a sucker. Well, whatever. Your optimism is what makes you who you are, and that's probably why Shinji thought it would be okay to reveal his identity to you. Anyway, what did you talk to Shinji about? He asked whether I wanted to team up with him. Shinji has no intention of fighting, and it sounded like he wanted to work with someone, so long as he knew them. Don't tell me you... No, you turn this kind of thing down normally, right? I've already teamed up with you anyway. Even if I were to answer, I should first consult you too. Oh, right. That's true. But did you say you turned him down? Yeah. I know I said I would have consulted you about this, but I made my decision about Shinji on my own. There wasn't much to talk to you about anyway. Oh, but did I still do something rash? Not really. I think you made the right call. Besides, he was only asking you, so there's no room for me to butt in anyway. The way she's mumbling makes her seem, well, not quite herself. That was all I talked to Shinji about. I saw Ryder too, but it didn't seem like she was that powerful of a servant to me. She's definitely not like Berserker, and she didn't seem as intense as Lancer. Ryder seemed decent. If Master felt that way, then it's likely true. But a servant's true power is determined by their noble phantasm. Until we find out who Ryder truly is, please do not let your guard down around her, Shiro. Is she feeling happy and cutesy about it? Is she twirling her hair right now? I don't know if that's it. I think it's more like we could have maybe gathered more intel about Shinji if we'd agreed to team up with him, but at the same time, who would want to team up with Shinji? Yeah, I have no clue which hero Ryder is. You know, Lancer and Berserker obviously look like heroes, but Ryder didn't have that same aura. I felt like she was different from typical servants. Different from typical servants, you say? I do not quite understand, but do you think you would be able to explain Shiro's discomfort to me? Kinda hope she would go all tsundere. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get more of that. Oh, yeah, I guess I understand. At least logically. You see, the Master influences which heroic spirits summoned as a servant. So, because of that, Master and servant tend to be similar. For example, if the Master is a noble person, they'll summon a heroic spirit of a similar disposition. On the other hand, a deeply scarred, traumatized person is likely to summon a servant with similar experiences. Oh, I'm biting my tongue so hard right now. No spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. So that's probably why Shiro felt something off from Ryder. A master with a twisted personality might summon a vengeful ghost to close to a heroic spirit, rather than a hero. A vengeful ghost close to a heroic spirit. Is that what you meant before? That's right. A tyrant who enjoys the sight of blood and does not think twice about killing. Tyrant is my trigger word. Tyrant is my trigger word. Kingslayer! There are plenty of heroes famous only for their brutality, so it wouldn't be a surprise for someone like that to become a servant as well. Is that true? Now that I think about it, I smelled blood on Ryder, but I didn't get the impression she was a bloodthirsty murderer. That's all I have on Ryder. Calm down. Do not squirt me with your paltry... Ow, hey, ow, stop it, stop. Knock it off. Damn, alright, I'm chill. That's all I have on Ryder. There's one more thing, and this might be the most important point. According to Ryder, there's apparently a master in Ryudo Temple. Someone is collecting magical energy from everyone in town. What do you two think of that? Ryudo Temple? Are you talking about that temple at the top of the mountain? Yeah, that's the one. Do you know anything about it, Tosaka? Actually, not at all. I've never been to Ryudo Temple. I don't know what kind of master would be up there, but a normal one wouldn't think to set up camp in a desolate place like that. Yeah, I was pretty surprised when I heard there was a master at Ryudo Temple. Being there might not draw too much attention, but there are a ton of monks living in the temple. We would definitely hear about it if they pulled something strange. I don't buy it. Even if it were true, Ryudo Temple is way out in the sticks. If they were to cast a net across Miyama and Shinto, that would be powerful magic, but a waste of magical energy. Even if they collected magical energy from such a wide range, executing such a large-scale magecraft would be impossible. Unless... Tosaka thinks for a moment, looking troubled. I'm relying on her experience here, so I can't interrupt her. Actually, Shiro's story is plausible. If that master is able to take hold of the temple, they would likely be able to execute magecraft of that caliber effortlessly. Do you know about Ryudo Temple, Saber? I haven't taken you there yet. Have you forgotten, Shiro? I participated in the previous Holy Grail War. I know this town very well, and I know about the ley line that formed at that temple. A ley line? Hold on. That's what's at my house. Why would there be two ley line centers in one area? I do not know why, but that temple is like a sanctuary for mages. I hear all lifelines in this area flow towards the temple, so it is the perfect point to collect souls. A mage would simply have to tap into its natural flow to collect life force from the whole town. It's the first I've heard of it. But if it's true, it would certainly be possible for someone to steal life force from the entire city. So that area is spiritually powerful, right? That's just obvious. Otherwise, people wouldn't have built a temple up there in the first place. Of course. You didn't have to tell me that. I figured as much. Temples and shrines have traditionally been built where there are gods to protect the town. Monks don't pray to the gods and Buddha to offer people blessings. Instead, their job is to seal up any areas that people believe are unlucky, to ward off calamity. So based on that, it's no surprise that the mountain where Ryudo Temple is located is a special place. Hey, don't tell me you thought Ryudo Temple was just there for show. What's wrong with that? I just thought it was just some temple because there aren't any practicing thaumaturges. Practicing thaumaturges? What is that? They're the people who help spirits go to heaven by means of other than sutra readings, worship, or prayer. An enlightened person can pull it off just through use. An enlightened person can pull it off just through Shinto and Buddhist rites, but monks who aren't as experienced aren't able to reach that level, so they add their powers to cast spells just like us. There's an organization for those people here in this country, and I don't know much about them, though, since they're nothing like the Mages Association. But more importantly, we should focus on the temple. If that temple's built on a ley line, masters would jump at a chance to seize it, at their earliest opportunity. So why would other masters overlook it? You mean to buy the player's handbook, Remia? Technically, we have it. That's the, what's this? It's the book that Tosaka gave to us. It just isn't filled out yet. We gotta pick up notes as we're going along. Come to think of it. Chaotic good. Checks out. A+ for Noble Phantasm. A D in luck. A B in magic and agility. Class skill. Riding, obviously. Don't know anything about her Noble Phantasm. Because Ryudo Temple's there. It's under surveillance, so it wouldn't be abused. All the monks at Ryudo Temple are real priests in training. They're not outliers like us, so it would be easy for a master to cajole people like them. No, that is incorrect, Rin. It would indeed be easy for a master to gain control of that temple, but the mountain is surrounded by a bounded field, which proves problematic for masters. A bounded field that would be trouble for us. Yes. Some sort of thaumaturgy is at work which removes everything other than natural spirits from that mountain. It does not affect humans, but servants are quite vulnerable to it. It gets rid of everything other than natural spirits. Does that mean servants can't set foot on the mountain? It's not impossible, but our abilities will likely be considerably weakened. It's like receiving a command spell. It's like receiving a command spell order not to enter that place. How is the master of Ryudo Temple able to maintain their servant up there? In fact, the temple itself is not under the bounded field. I also hear that it works like a boundary which protects the temple. A bounded field just repels anything approaching from outside. It has no other function. So once you're inside, there's no thaumaturgy that controls servants. But that's weird. Enclosing the temple like that would cut off the ley line. There should at least be one pathway in, or it wouldn't be a central point. That is right. If you think in terms of the temple, it cannot refuse visitors approaching by way of its main entrances. Following this logic, it is my understanding that the main road leading to the temple does not have a bounded field cast over it. The main gate is the only place that does not have power to command servants like us. which means that if we were to attack it, we would be forced to come in through the front door. Presumably, where they'd be waiting. I see. I guess that's logical. If all the gates were completely closed off, the air inside would grow stagnant. So, there's one main gate. That is all I can tell you. So please, draw your own conclusions. If you have determined there is a master present, then there is only one thing to do. I know what Saber wants to say. Her eyes are telling me that since we know the enemy's location, we just need to attack. But I'm going to pass. It feels like a trap, and honestly, I don't want to make a move based only on information we have now. If we're going into the enemy's own base, we should wait until we know what sort of servant they have. That is unexpected. I thought you would be the first to suggest fighting. Insult me if you want. Archer's not back to his full strength, so I'm going to remain a spectator for now. Understood. Then Shiro, let us head over to the temple by ourselves. Saber is matter-of-fact about it, but I'm... Now, I already looked at the flowchart, so I know what the correct choice is here. But also, it kind of miffs me that Ryder said that a witch had set up shop at the temple. And Shiro knows which classes and which heroes we've met already. We know Saber, we know Archer, we know Lancer, we know Berserker, and now we know Ryder. That leaves only Caster and Assassin. So, presumably, we would know that it's a Caster class. Or, I mean, just like by process of elimination. Assuming that Shinji was telling the truth and that Ryder is in fact the Ryder class servant, it's safe to assume, even if he was lying, it's safe to assume that the quote-unquote witch sitting on top of the mountain is a Caster class. That said, Rin still makes a good point if Archer still isn't fully recovered. It would be better that we go in with our maximum power. If Archer's not fully recovered, and Saber's still not fully recovered, it would just be better to wait. Could also be a summoner, like a mage/witch. Maybe. I mean, I guess technically you could be correct. That we could be the mage that's doing all of the magey stuff, and then their servant would be assassin. Or Ryder if we didn't believe Shinji. Yeah. That would make sense. One of the masters would have summoned her. Either way. One of the monks, you mean? Yeah. Presumably. Either way, we play it safe for now. But would you win if you fought? Probably not. That was my whole argument, was that if Saber's not fully recovered and Archer's not fully recovered, and we're going off of intel that we're getting from Shinji, we would probably lose. No, I agree with Tosaka. We shouldn't be going there yet. What? Are you saying you will not fight either? That is ridiculous. What was the point in me resting then? We must strike first, especially now that we know where our enemy is. Nah, I'd win. Would you, Sayu? Would you specifically win? I know that, but we need to wait, Saber. If the master at Ryudo Temple is so thoroughly prepared, they'll have set a trap for us. Rushing in without a plan is suicide. Tosaka's right. We should at least wait until Archer's recovered. These are the risks we must always face. I do not expect victory without injury or setback. Even if the enemy's traps pierce my body, I can fight on so long as I have my head. No matter how badly injured I am, it is worth the risk if we can defeat its master, is it not? What? Don't be such a fool. Who would ever say it's okay to get hurt? It's fine going in knowing the risks, but a suicidal mission is stupid. As your master, I can't let you do something so dangerous. Going over to Ryudo Temple would be suicide, no question. The lone road leading up to the temple is sure to be packed with traps or obstacles. Maybe both. It's one thing to go in expecting the dangers, but doing it without a plan to deal with them is suicidal. No matter how powerful Saber is, she's still held back by my weakness. I would hate for her to push herself to fight and end up... If it ends up like it did last time, I can't agree to charge in blindly. I did not think to hear you say such a thing again. Listen, Master. Servants are meant to get hurt. I will not allow my master to avoid battle simply for fear of that eventuality. Fine. Doesn't matter if you don't allow it. If you're going to keep being so reckless, I'll stop you as many times as I have to. If you don't like that, then hurry up and heal yourself. You're still not fully healed, are you? Not so much that it should interfere with my ability to fight. Delaying combat because you are concerned about a wound is pointless. Saber just won't change her mind about fighting. Why doesn't she understand no matter what I say? Yeah, well, I'm not budging. You lost a berserker before. Are you going to push through and keep on fighting so we can both be defeated again? You gotta be kidding me. I don't want to get killed all over again. And then... I expect Saber to argue. Instead, she just draws in a breath and... That was cruel, Shiro. Her tone is apologetic. I'm sorry to be unfair, but I'm still not willing to attack yet. I know I can't let the master at Ryudo Temple do as they please, but we're in no condition to fight. If we rush in now and are defeated, then who will stop the master at Ryudo Temple? Listen, we're going to attack, but only after your wound is healed and we're in peak condition. If you have a problem with that, go find another master. Just go to the Pokemon Recovery Center. If only it were that easy. This is kind of a lot like Pokemon, only with heroic figures. Understood. If Master insists. Saber's voice is quiet as she answers, and then she falls silent. Our conversation ends there. Tosaka and Saber both go back to their rooms. I'm left alone in the living room, and find myself starting to regret what I did. Well, it's too late. I could have said it differently, so why did I have to say it the way I did? Why was I only able to convince her with words that cut her so deep? That's new. It's a quiet, windless night. It's past midnight. Darkness blankets the sky. The town itself is like a dark sea, illuminated only by moonlight. Saber's recovery linked to his ability as a mage? Partially, yes. The more magical energy a mage has, the faster a servant is able to recover. But also, the wound she got from Lancer takes particularly long to heal because of the cursed lance. So it's a combination of those two things. Overhead, the clouds move across the sky. At ground level, there's not a breath of wind. Higher up, the air must be roaring as the clouds swim by.
風が出るな。
There's at least some wind. Maybe she hears the inaudible wind. She mutters quietly as she looks up into the windy sky. The young girl known as Saber stands quietly in the middle of the yard, glaring up at the sky. Her golden hair is beautiful even in the dark of night. Her clear green eyes remain on the moon as it flickers in and out of view. She glances toward the corner of the yard once. There's an old shed. Her lord sleeps there.
あなたが戦わない
If
と
you
い
say
う
you
の
will
な
not fight, fine. There's a heavy clang. The sound of iron melts into the darkness without reaching anyone's ears. The moon hides, then reveals itself once again. As the clouds above float past, the girl's appearance changes radically. Solid, heavy armor. She can no longer be called a girl in her blue raiment. Now, she is shrouded in steely armor, woven of magical energy intense enough that it would overwhelm all others. In her hand, she holds an invisible sword, concealed by the same magical energy that surpasses human understanding. The figure, once considered undefeatable in the battlefield, proves that someone like her still exists in this day and age. Though her sword is invisible, the majestic air she exudes proves her exceptional skill as a swordsman. This is what has made her Saber. The hero of the sword, said to be the strongest of all the seven serpents. A knight among knights who remains ever civil and acts according to her lord's will. Whatever the other heroic spirits may be like, she remains the ideal swordsman who would never defy her lord. But that ends tonight. She is here defying her lord's orders. Rather, she is not truly disobeying her lord. This is her way of bringing her lord victory, the result of her own determination. Kinda badass, really badass.
彼は甘い
He is too
それでは
naive.
他のマスターに殺され
If
る
he
だけだ
continues on this path, it will only lead to death at another master's hands. But this master will never change his ways. Then it must be her duty to be heartless. If her master will not fight, then his sword must.
傷は癒えていない
My wounds have
マ
not
スター
healed.
からの魔力供給
I
を期待
cannot
でき
expect
な
a
い
supply of magical energy from Master. But that still poses no hindrance in battle. After confirming her own abilities, she returns her gaze to the moon. She has no concern for the shed where her lord sleeps any longer. Now that she is armed and wearing her armor, the only thing on her mind is defeating her enemies. The moon darkens. The moment a large cloud covers the sky, Saber jumps over the walls of the mansion grounds. She runs through the darkness. The silvery swordsman rushes through the sleeping town. She has but one destination, Ryudo Temple, sitting at the heart of the sacred mountain on the town's outskirts. Even Saber understands how difficult it will be to single-handedly defeat the master lurking in the temple. Shiro is correct. She is bound to suffer great injury, or at worst, die herself. But how can she call herself a servant if she cannot do the impossible? Servants are driven by their superior abilities and unassailable pride. They are proud as heroes, and have earned that confidence in the numerous battles they fought. As heroic spirits whose lore has been passed down and respected since ancient times, they cannot lose, no matter who they face. She cannot even imagine defeat. She is no exception, however much of her innocence may still be left to her. Being granted the title of Saber is all the more reason she cannot ignore that pride. And that pride will not allow her to just sit by and do nothing when she can face her enemy. And so she must brave any traps that may await her, and face her enemy even if she is alone. If she has no chance of winning, then she must simply use her sword to create one. Her sword is a celebrated blade. It has cut countless enemies down. As long as she has invisible air, there is nothing for her to fear. She runs through the mountain pass and up the road leading to the temple. After she cuts through the mountain pass, an imposing stone staircase awaits her. We're going to take a break for ads right here,
確かにこれは
leaving you guys on a cliffhanger. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to go refill my water. Okay, I'm back. I have spared you the sounds of shaking my pyropower. We'll get right back into it in another 30 seconds or so as soon as the ads are over. Welcome back, thank you. Let me wet my whistle. Delicious pee-pee juice. This is certainly... It is certainly different than the Ryudo temple she remembers. The air is stagnant. The wind is barren. The land's lifeline was contaminated long ago. This place is a land of death. The moment one enters, there can be no escape. She does not hesitate. Saber does not so much as break stride as she runs up the steps. Scenery flies by. Her footsteps echo on the stone stairs, and the mountain begins to stir. The stairs are long, stretching across a great distance. The temple gates are far, even for Saber, who shoots up the stairs like an arrow. So long are the stairs that it is impossible for one to pass through the gate undetected. An ambush surely awaits along the way. Reaching the gate will not be easy. Whatever schemes may await her, she must simply smash through them and keep moving. Nothing will stop her. Even were Berserker to appear before her, she would break through. Such is her determination, her confidence. She's reached the top. Just as she is about to reach the temple gates, the obstacle presents itself. There he is. Saber stops. Despite her determination to push through no matter what enemy she faces, she is surprised by what she finds. It appears so naturally, like a breeze. The man appears before her lacking any trace of enmity, but leaves not a single opening for an attack.
Kisama.
You. Saber stops and readies her invisible sword. The man before her, backlit by the moon, ignores Saber's menacing glare as if it were nothing to him.
Samurai ka.
Aye, samurai? She has heard about them, but she is bewildered by the sight of one. This is her second Holy Grail War. Even though she has seen many other heroic spirits, this is her first time seeing a servant like him. Sweat beads on Saber's brow. She isn't afraid. Rather, she is struggling to comprehend the situation. It is not as if she has never encountered strange servants. Certainly there was no stranger and more mysterious servant than the archer of the previous war. By comparison, the servant before her is hardly frightening, and possesses no incredible weaponry. And that is exactly what makes it strange. It's not a servant, it's just a Japanese civilian. He's just a real living samurai. She senses nothing from the man. There is no doubt he is a servant, but he seems to possess neither a noble phantasm nor magical energy. He should be an easy foe. Their fight should end in a single blow. But her instincts give her one very simple warning. Don't underestimate him. This servant has a means of inflicting instant death. She can't get closer. His katana is unconventionally long for a Japanese sword, making it hard to gauge spacing, but more than that, Saber's position puts her at a huge disadvantage. He has the high ground. The man stands at the top of the stairs, and Saber stands below him. He is about 5 meters from her. His sword will reach her before she can rush him. But she feels nothing from his sword. Repelling it should be easy. She should not be afraid to step in, but Saber senses somehow that she should not. Saber adjusts her grip on her sword and glares at the enemy ahead of her. She may not know his identity, but she should at least be able to determine his class. I ask of you, what servant are you? Saber doesn't expect an answer. After a brief smile, Servant Assassin, Sasaki Kojiro. The servant's reply is given in a sing-song voice. Saber cannot help but be surprised. Servants generally conceal their identities. What sort of servant would be so bluntly and proudly given his name? I'm gonna read that line again. What sort of servant would so bluntly and proudly give his name? Why? Why? What a boorish question. It is only polite to introduce myself before a duel. All the more so against an opponent so beautiful as you. How odd, then, that you should react as you have. The man who introduced himself as Sasaki Kojiro, the assassin, appears to enjoy Saber's confusion. There is no way Saber knows. She has no idea this servant is a swordsman who wields a long sword called Monohoshiza, and was rumored to have been an unrivaled swordsman during the Keicho era in Japan. Knowing, of course, would change nothing. The man's origin is unknown, and even his existence is uncertain. His story was told only by word of mouth, and there is perhaps only one person in the world who knows the true identity of the man who was hailed as the greatest swordsman in the world. The man who never left a mark in history, but was Sasaki Kojiro's archenemy, and the only one to have ever defeated him. You guys know who that man was? Blunt and front-facing assassin. Reminds me of what you said last time, the servants can potentially be applicable to different classes. Right, exactly. I believe in Unlimited Blade Works Abridged on YouTube. When this confrontation happens, Assassin says, Saber asks what class Assassin is, and Assassin replies, I'm Saber, and Saber just looks at him like, no, you're not. And he goes, oh, fuck, you're Saber, aren't you? I thought that was a really good joke. because bluffing that he would be Saber would definitely work on any other servant except actual Saber. And he was like, God damn it, the first fucking one I encounter was actual Saber. So how can this man be called a hero? The assassin, Sasaki Kojiro, is a presence far removed from Saber herself. Who among heroic spirits could know the abilities of a swordsman who could not himself normally be a heroic spirit? However, two things are clear for her. One is that the man before her is an enemy, and the other is that he has willingly identified himself. You are certainly correct. A knight's honor demands revealing oneself when addressed, and that one should return the gesture in kind. Saber's voice is grave. Revealing her true name poses an immense risk. She cannot reveal her true name, even under torture, nor does she have any intention of doing so. However, this is only in the name of her pursuit of victory. For this same reason, she cannot tarnish her knight's honor.
小次郎と言いましたね。
Kojiro, you said.
アサシンのサーバント
Assassin.
で
I am.
私は
Yoi.
Say no more. I know you're the sort who must give your
name.
name in kind if I do so first. It was I who was
無粋な真似
boorish.
をしたのは私であった。
The man descends the stairs gracefully. Assassin confronts Saber, taking slow steps down the stairs.
そのようなことで敵を知ろ
I
う
need
とは
not know
思わ
my
ない。
enemy in this way.
我らに
If
とっ
we are
て
to battle, we shall
敵
speak
を知
with
るに
our
はこの
blades.
刀だけで十分であろう。違うか、
Am I wrong?
セイバーのサーバント
Saber?
よ。そう驚くこ
This
と
should
もあ
be
る
no
まい。
surprise. I do not know what you are holding, but the murderous intent surrounding you
身にま
most
とった殺
certainly
気は
belongs
剣
to a
士のも
swordsman.
の。目が
That
くらむほど
beautiful,
の美
dazzling
しい
aura
剣
of a
気。
swordsman.
その貴様
You
が
can
セイバー以
only
外
be a
の何
saber.
者であろうか。
He takes a step closer. Assassin descends the stone steps, and he points his sword at Saber. Kage. 9 months, it's a sub, baby. Thank you so much. Also, hi, James. Welcome in. How we doing tonight? You've arrived at a very interesting time. It's about to go down. Go back to lurking now. I just saw that. I saw that and needed to say it. True. Can't let the Twitch baby, can't let the sub baby go by without bringing it up. It's important.
神名など知らずともよい。
I do not care to know your
セイ
true
バーとい
name.
うサーバント
All
は
that matters to me is that the
この
servant
刃に
known as
破れる
Saber
だけの話
falls
だ。
by my blade. Last night before I go back to school. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Spending time somewhere happy. What? You mean here? 'Cause that's awfully flattering. Aww. Aww. Guys. You're gonna throw me off my tone. It's supposed to be very serious, very tense confrontation. There is nothing to discuss. Is that not what it is to be a servant in any case? The swordsman laughs joyfully.
なるほど。
I see.
それは
Yes, that is
確か
true.
にその通りです。
You want people to be happy, you shouldn't have made it so cozy. Just don't. You guys are so nice to me. As Saber speaks, she readies her sword.
それでよい。
That's the spirit.
では、
Then let us do
果たし合おう
Saber.
ぞ、セイバー。サーバント
I
随
must
一と
see
言
your
われるその
swordsmanship,
剣に。
said to be the
しかと
greatest
見
of
せても
all
らわねばな。
servants. A silver light leaps, solid and soft. The battle between two very different swordsmen begins under the moonlight. Interlude out. I wake up to a searing pain in my chest. It feels like I've just had a bad dream.
なんだ
Why
胸
does
が
my chest hurt?
痛い
My heart feels like it's burning. Actually, it It feels more heat from outside has been forced into my body. From outside? I doubt myself briefly. But before I can think of what it might be, I find myself rushing outside. Saber, are you here? I open the sliding screen door to Saber's room. She's not here. Don't tell me she... No, there's no doubt. If she's not here, she went to Ryudo Temple on her own. That idiot! Why? She hasn't healed, so why should we... I'm so angry, my head is starting to hurt. I didn't tell her I wasn't going to fight. I just didn't want her to get hurt like that again. There's no point in fuming here. I need to hurry to Ryudo Temple. I can't let Saber fight alone. Well, I don't know what good I can do her, but if I get there, maybe I can do something. She's a girl, why can't she just behave herself? Shiro, for the I don't even know how manyth time, she is not just a girl. You have no idea. You seem to be actively ignoring that fact. Did you save the school, or is this a new arc? Neither of those things. We're working on it. There's a lot of balls in the air out here. I run. I don't even take the time to change. Out front, I grab a bike and pedal as fast as I can. I pedal down the hill without braking. It'll take at least 40 minutes to Ryudo Temple, even if I rush. I don't know how long it's been since Saber left, but I need to get to her as fast as I can. What happens to the school? Nothing! As long as we get that bounded field sorted out. We'll do it tomorrow. It'll be fine. Interlude back in. Or I think we're cutting back to Saber's perspective. The blades cross. The edges of both swords come into contact again and again. Stroke after stroke. Sword and katana alike spark as they strike and parry. Several dozen exchanges like this later, and neither opponent has changed position. Assassin, standing higher on the steps, holds his ground. Saber, who is trying to advance up the stone steps, can't get any closer to Assassin. Over time, she bleeds more and more energy. Oh, music. That flute. One of Saber's many attempts at rushing in. Assassin effortlessly swings his long blade, fully 1.5 meters, and halts Saber's advance. No, he's not simply preventing an advance. If Saber's blade is lightning, Assassin's katana is a hurricane. Though Assassin may be no match for her in strength or speed, the flexible trajectory of his blade sweeps aside Saber's every attack. Excuse me. The ricocheting katana gains speed and flips back towards Saber's neck like a gust of wind. Even as Saber dodges the blow by only a hairbreadth, the long katana flicks back toward her, giving her not a moment's rest. In contrast to Saber's straight sword, Assassin's blade is curved. Assassin's cutting edge is graceful, but it also draws a long, extended arc. He shouldn't be able to match Saber's sword as it moves in a straight line, but he somehow cancels out that difference. suddenly stops. Her blade isn't moving fast enough to block Assassin's counterattack. She falls back a pace, knowing it's the only way she can avoid the incoming strike. Assassin's katana traces a fascinatingly beautiful arc, but at the same time, it is so fast that it's nearly impossible to follow. Is this seeming impossibility owed to Assassin's skill, or is it instead owed to Saber being at a disadvantageous position in their battle? Unable to reach a clear conclusion, Saber continues dodging Assassin's strikes and turns aside the blade as it arcs toward her neck with her own weapon. The next thing she knows, she has retreated a few more steps down the stairs. That's the extent of his long katana's reach. It would be easy to rush up close to him once she sweeps his sword aside, but for some reason, she can't do it. It must be owed to the enemy's superb skills and her own position below him, which puts her at a disadvantage. Saber bites her lip, thinking she wouldn't have such a hard time against that long katana if they were on flat ground. This is certainly a problem. I had not expected fighting against an invisible blade would be so challenging. Assassin is unmoved. He is fighting purely to defend. He need not chase after a retreating Saber, nor does he have any reason to give up the advantage of higher ground. This must be the first time you have seen a katana, yes? My sword is quite wicked. An ordinary opponent would fall to but a single blow. You, on the other hand, have evaded it spectacularly. This pleases me, Saber. Additionally, your cut-in technique is marvelous. You are able to do so much with that small frame of yours. You must be impeccably trained. Assassin watches Saber, his posture relaxed, perhaps simply because he needn't go on the offensive. The tip of his blade wavers, losing strength. But Saber cannot seize the opportunity. The man is not holding a stance. A long katana like that can only be wielded as long as the wielder is able to swing the sword from any position. Is something the matter? Surely you are not done. That invisible sword is not simply for show, is it? You do not know when to stop talking. The sword and katana clash. Ah, I have you now. The longsword stops mid-swing. Assassin grins, glancing at his katana where it stopped the invisible sword, then parries again. While Saber catches the flash coming at her neck. Even Saber knows. She's been able to block Assassin's unfamiliar sword work thanks to her invisible sword. Her invisible sword can confuse the opponent's senses, both offensively and defensively. Assassin not following through on his attacks is proof of this. Not knowing how long Saber's sword is makes it too dangerous for Assassin to close in on her. If Assassin were to step in to attack Saber, he will do so when Saber tries to smash Assassin's forehead. That attack. Assassin dodges it completely as he takes just a step back. Ah, I have a good idea of its length now. It is roughly 3 shaku. It is roughly 3 shaku long and 4 sun wide. Its shape, let's see, as befits your name, is that of a typical Western sword. That would be 90 centimeters long and 12 centimeters wide. Using classical Japanese sword length measuring. Shaku and sun. Assassin may have spoken calmly, but his exceptional skill at appraising the blade is clear. Saber's strike had been so fast that, even were her sword visible, it would have been almost impossible to see. And yet, not only has he managed to defend himself from the invisible blade, he's also figured out its size and shape. I cannot believe it.
何の魔術も
You
使わ
have
ず
measured my sword without
満足に打ち
employing
合って
any
もいないという
magecraft
のに
or having a
私の剣を
satisfying
測ったので
exchange
す
with
か
our
あ
blades.
なたは
ほう、驚い
Surprised.
たか。
However, this is
だ
but the
が
trick of
こ
a
ん
mere
なもの
street
は大道
performer, in
芸
my
であろ
opinion.
うよ。
As a wielder of a
邪剣
wicked
使いゆえ
sword, such tricks are the
この
only
ような
things
技
I
ばか
get
り
to
上手くな
practice.
る。
なるほど
I see. Your
私
strategy
の
was
一
to
撃を
simply
まとも
parry
に
my
受けず
strikes to avoid being
ただ
wounded.
払うだけがあなたの
I can
戦
see
いだ
now
った
why a coward like you would call
邪剣
himself a
使いと
wicked
は
swordsman.
その逃げ腰から来た俗称ですか
Saber throwing shade. This guy might be a problem. This guy... This guy is Sasaki Kojiro. He's the whole problem.
いやいや、まともに打ち合わぬ無礼は許
Well,
せ
you。must forgive me for not properly trading blows with you.
何しろこ
You
の共
see,
闘
I
だ。
have this long
打ち合えば
katana.
折れるは必定。
Were I to properly lock
お主
blades
と
with
して
you,
は
it would certainly
力勝
break.
負こそが基本な
You
の
must
だ
be
ろ
the
う
sword to
が、
go all out,
こちらは
but
そ
I
うはい
cannot.
かぬ。
I am unable
そ
to
の
put
剣
my
と
full
組み合い、
might into every
力
strike
を
with this
競い合うこ
katana.
とはできん。
Matches the size category of a longsword. There's a reason for that. It's because it's a longsword.
もとより、刀とい
So
う
it
ものは
has
そうい
always
う
been
もの
with
だ
the。katana.
西洋の
Western
剣はそ
swords
の
cut
重さ
with
と
sheer
力で
weight
物
and
を
power.
叩き切る。だが、
Our blades,
我
however,
らの
rely
刀は
upon speed
速
and
さと技
technique.
で物を断ち切るのだ。戦いが噛み合わ
Do
ぬ
you
のは
now
道
see
理であ
how
る。
different our fighting styles are? Is he from Shinsegumi or maybe the weapons collector from the stories? Sasaki Kojiro is the man that they mentioned before being the only one to rival Sasaki Kojiro was Miyamoto Musashi. And if you know anything about Musashi, that should clue you in to just how much of a problem Kojiro really is. Hmm.
まあしかし、こ
But
れで
then
はいさ
again,
さか今日が
it
そ
would
が
be
れる。
disappointing to leave matters like this.
もう良い
Now,
頃合いだ
Saber,
ぞ、セイバ
I believe the time has come to
いい
stop
加減手の
concealing
内を
your
隠す
true
のはやめ
power.
にしろ。
ア
Assassin,
サシン
do you believe I am taking
私
it
があなた
easy
に
on
手
you?
加減しているとでも
していないと
Are
で
you
も
saying
言
you
う
are
のか。
not? I do not know what
何
your
のつもりかは
intentions
知
are,
らんが、
but for you to fight with
剣
your
を鞘に
sheath
収
on
め
is
たまま
somewhat
戦と
insulting.
は舐めら
Do
れ
you
たも
believe
の
that
だ。
I am unworthy of being taken seriously as
私
your
程度で
opponent?
は本気を出すまでもないということか。ほう。
Ah,
そ
you
れ
do
でも
not seem
応
as though
じ
you
ないとい
intend to
う顔だ
comply.
な。よか
Very
ろう。
well. If you
ならば
decline to
ここ
reveal
まで
your
だ。
own, then I shall show you
お
my
前が出し
secret
惜しみ
technique
をするの
first.
なら、先に我が秘剣をお見せしよう。
And with that, the swordsman with a long katana drifts down next to Saber. Nice catch, James. Hell yeah. What? For an assassin to give up his advantageous position is as good as inviting defeat. He may be a superb swordsman, but it was the landscape of their battleground that gave him the advantage. If the two are to fight on level ground, Saber should have no trouble repelling Assassin's attack, and taking his head then and there. Assassin should know this as well. So why?
構えよ。
Brace yourself, or you will die, Saber. Saber instinctively reacts to the smoothness in his voice, for he is speaking the truth. Assassin descending the steps has not put her in an advantageous position. Her intuition, which has enabled her to triumph in so many battles, warns her of her mistake. This music goes so fucking hard, dude. She readies her invisible sword. There's no room to hesitate. What matters is that she has to attack with her sword before Assassin swings his long katana. Roughly 3 meters separate the two. He readies himself. The stance he takes now is one he has not taken in their battle so far. Secret technique. Saber charges. The long katana is meaningless now. The moment she draws near Assassin, the katana will become a liability to him. And yet... Swallow reversal. Such logic means little to a swordsman like him. Lightning strikes. Faster even than Saber's blade. The demonic blow strikes down in a single straight line. But it's not as if Saber cannot block such an attack. She quickly raises her sword to defend, repelling Assassin's attack. I got you. Even Assassin will be left open after an attack like that is turned aside. In that split-second interval, as Saber attempts to cut through Assassin's stomach. Swiftly, trusting her instincts, Saber rolls down the stone steps. She rolls away as if she's fleeing. She makes no effort, even to soften her landing. All Saber does is frantically hurl herself down the stairs, slowing for nothing. Saber stops rolling and gets to her feet. Above her on the stairs, she sees the swordsman standing at ease. Ah, you managed to evade my secret technique. I should expect no less, Saber. You are far and away the superior of a swallow. I cannot believe it. That was... it's nothing to be impressed by. It's something I thought up when I considered how to slay a swallow. He raises his long katana up high. The motion is done as if to mimic the demonic sword's motions he demonstrated earlier to intimidate Saber. Can you see this, Saber? Swallows avoid attacks by trying to catch the wind. Fast or slow, it does not matter. A sword always disturbs the atmosphere, no matter what sort it might be. Swallows feel that tremor and react by changing the direction in which they are flying. And so, no attack can slay a swallow. A sword can only move along a single line. It cannot catch a swallow which can fly through the air in all directions. So your only option is to deny them any path of escape. The first sword attacks the swallow, and the second sword surrounds the escaping swallow as it reads those movements. But they are fast. Long as this katana is, the second sword will surely not reach the swallow in time. If I hope to capture the swallow, I would need to strike with the second sword at the very same instant as the first. But such is well beyond human ability. I accepted the truth of this impossibility. However, unfortunately for you, I had nothing better to do with my time. They say determination is the key to success, and the next thing I knew, I had managed it. A simple, worthless idea like killing a swallow became a secret technique that created a prison by employing multiple, simultaneous strikes of the sword. Saber cannot help but disagree with his matter-of-fact narrative. It is untrue. His technique is not as simple as he claims. Execute 2 attacks simultaneously. Impossible. The 2 blades struck at exactly the same time. In that moment, there existed 2 separate katana. Kishur Zelrech, a multi-dimensional refraction phenomenon. A servant whose skills reached the level of a noble phantasm without using magecraft, but by his skill alone. It is most certainly to be admired. That single blow made it very clear. Sasaki Kojiro does not possess a noble phantasm, as heroic spirits typically do. All he has is his magical sword and its sheer power, reaching the realm of the gods. What's astonishing is that this man, a mere human, has managed to stand on equal ground with a heroic spirit who possesses a noble phantasm.
だが足場が悪かったな。
But my footing was bad.
ツバメ返しの奇跡は
My swallow reversal typically employs 3 slices.
もうわずかに広けれ
If
ば
I had more room, I could have added my horizontal slash.
そうでしょうね。
I would assume so.
そうでなければ不
Otherwise,
完
the
全
attack
で
would
す。
be incomplete.
全てが同
If
時で
everything
あ
were
る
to
のは
happen at the same
ミノ
time,
たちはどうして
the
も遅
second
くな
sword's
る。
trajectory would
そ
naturally
れを補
slow
うた
down.
めに
To
横方向へ
compensate,
の
there
離
must
脱
be
を
a
阻
third
む
horizontal
才能たちがある
attack
はずだ。
to prevent the opponent from escaping to the side.
いい飲み込みの
Ah,
速
a
さだ。
quick study indeed.
だからこそ我が
No
危
wonder
険
you
をかわ
managed
し
to
た
evade
か。
my secret technique.
素晴らしい
How
ぞセイバー。
wonderful, Saber.
このような属性に
I
呼
had
び出さ
so
れた我が
cursed
身を
my
呪
summoning
っ
to
たが
this material
それも
world
今宵
but that lament
生
ends
前では
tonight.
叶わなかった立
An
ち会い
opportunity to face an
我が
opponent
危
that
険を
would have been
存分に振
impossible
る
in
舞
my
える殺し合
lifetime,
いができるの
and
な
a
らば
chance to
呼
use
び
my
出された
secret
甲斐
attack
があ
on
ると
them
いうもの。
is enough to make this summoning well worth it. They're totally nerding out. It's fucking awesome. If they weren't enemies, they'd be best friends. Assassin readies his sword again, then descends the stone steps. He must be after Saber's head. Saber is not confident. Saber is not confident she will be able to dodge that secret technique again. Like Lancer's Gay Bolg, Assassin's Swallow Reversal is a technique that one cannot allow the wielder to use. Except, unlike Gay Bolg, against which one can defend once they understand what it is and know that it will strike at the heart, there is no defense against Assassin's secret technique. It cannot be evaded, even when one knows what it is. If there is a defense, it lies in preventing him from using the attack. The only way to defeat him is to deliver a devastating blow before Assassin can unleash his secret technique.
なるほど。
I see.
確かに
I
手
should
加
not have
減など
taken
許
it
さ
so
れる相
easy
手で
on
は
you.
なかったようだ。
She lowers both her hands. Saber drops the tip of her invisible sword as if driving it into the ground, and glares up at Assassin as he approaches.
ほう、
Oh,
そうか。
so
ようや
are
く
you
その気に
finally
なったか、
resolved to go all
Saber.
out, Saber? Assassin stops descending the steps and readies his secret technique once more. Saber looks at him bravely.
不満がないのはこち
I
らも同
too
じだ。
have no complaints.
我が一
Will
撃
you be able to
受け切れ
endure
る
my
か
attack,
アサシ
Assassin?
ンのサーバント。
Saber releases her own restraints. The air trembles. As if responding to her will, her sword releases a torrential gust of wind. Assassin retreats several steps. The gale force winds released from Saber's sword are extraordinary. Even the thick trees on either side of the temple gates creak and groan. So strong is the wind, it all but explodes outward from her blade. The atmosphere sealed within is released and roars outward in all directions. Saber's sword releases a gust of wind that could easily carry off a human being. This is her blade's power. The invisible air is, as the name implies, a sword that has sealed up wind. The sword, sheathed in compressed wind, reflects and refracts light to give it the appearance of being invisible. This is what happens when the wind is released. The released air seeks escape and dissipates into its surroundings in chaotic gusts. During that time, her sword's commanding magecraft allows her to freely manipulate the raging wind. As Saber possesses incredible amounts of magical energy, she should be able to maintain the bounded field for a few minutes. The truth of this is made apparent by the fact that her sword, even after releasing so much energy, remains invisible. This is like a typhoon. However, the howling winds do not die down. The unleashed winds are about to engulf Assassin. This cannot be all of it. I shall see every skill you have concealed, Saber. Assassin closes in, despite the raging, blinding wind. Saber's arm moves. The wind-infused blade roars, readying itself to intercept Assassin, who advances calmly, slowly, in spite of the gale force winds, strong enough to prevent most people from even approaching. Interlude out. What the hell is that? When I reach Ryudo Temple, I'm greeted by the sound of air rushing at me like a typhoon. That must be Saber over there. At the top of the stairs, in front of the temple gates, I see an armored figure who must be Saber, fighting someone wearing a kimono. The wind swirls around Saber, and the surrounding trees creak under the gale force intensity. Wait. Damn, I don't think I can get close. The wind is so intense I can't even keep my eyes open. Head down, I manage to fight my way closer to the stairs. But the wind only gets stronger. I can't. At this rate, I can't get closer to Saber. Far ahead, I can see Saber fighting someone, but I can't do anything. No, even if I manage to get closer to Saber in this wind, I'll only hold her back. My left hand hurts again. The command spells engraved on the back of my hand tingle. I do not know what that means. And every time my hand tingles, I can't help but remember that scene. Damn it, screw this! I close my eyes and stretch my hands towards the stairs. I get down onto my hands and knees, hoping to avoid being blown off my feet, and begin crawling up the stairs. The wind intensifies. Even a novice mage like me can tell incredible amounts of magical energy are raging above me. My command spells tingle. The roar of the wind warns me something is happening above. Wait, could this be Saber's magical energy? If it is, why would she do something so reckless in her state? No. Should she even be doing something like that? Saber can't recover magical energy. She shouldn't be wasting it like this. I need to step in and handle the fighting and have Saber support me instead, or else she might run out of magical energy. I stand up and start running up the stairs. Now's not the time to be crawling. I don't know what Saber has in mind, but I have to stop her. As I try to dash to the temple, something like a dagger flies right by me. I don't know what miracle let me dodge it. Who's there? I turn to look away from the stairs, into the trees. There's no doubt about it. I didn't notice it in this torrential wind, but there's someone hiding nearby. You coward. Quit hiding and come out. I shout for whoever's hiding in the tree line. The strong winds should have drowned my voice out. To my surprise, my voice echoes up the stairs. The wind died down. I look up towards the temple gate. There. I see a man in a kimono wielding a long sword, and Saber's back. That's enough, Saber. Someone's trying to steal a glance at your secret sword. The man in the kimono smiles as he speaks. Like me, he's staring out into the forest. If we continue, neither of us will emerge victorious.
生き残った
Whoever
者
hides so cravenly
そ
in
こ
the
に潜ん
trees
だ
may
恥知ら
attack
ずが
whoever
襲いか
survives
か
our
る
duel.
かそれともお
Or
前の
they
危
may
険を
simply
盗
be
み見るだけ
observing,
が目
hoping
的
to
なの
learn
か
about your hidden blade.
どちら
In
にせ
either
よ
case,
あまり
I
気
do
乗り
not
のする
care to
話では
involve
ないな
myself. The man turns to climb the stairs, seeming totally disinterested.
待て
Stop!
決着をつけない
Do you
つも
not
りか
intend to settle our
assassin
match, assassin?
お前がこの山門
Should
を
you
越え
attempt to
る
pass through the temple
というの
gates
であ
once
らば
again, we
決着
shall
をつけ
settle
よう
things.
何
I
者
will
だ
not allow any to
こ
pass
の
this
門を
gate,
くぐること
no
は
matter
私が
who
許
they
そう
may be.
だが
That, unfortunately,
あいにくと
is my
私の役
only
目はそ
role.
れだけでな帰る
If you plan on
とい
turning
うのであ
back,
れ
I
ば
have
止め
no
る気はな
intention
い
of stopping you.
まあ
That fool hiding in
そ
the
こに隠
trees,
れてい
though,
る
is
たわ
another
けは
matter.
別だが
Should I find myself disliking
気に入
them,
らぬ
I
相
will
手であ
not
れば
allow
死ん
them
でも
in
倒
even
産
dead,
し
nor
生
will
き
I
て
let
も
them
返さん
leave alive. Assassin continues up the stairs.
踊らされたな
You were
セイバー
manipulated, Saber.
だが
But the same goes for
もう
me,
一人の
as I
気
did
配に
not
気がつ
notice
かなかっ
whoever
た
was lurking
私
in
も
the
同じだ
shadows. Had we
あのままでお
continued,
けば
I
危
could
険
have
の
shown
す
you
べ
the,
てを味
the
わえたで
power
あ
of
ろう
my
が
secret technique,
良
but
い
we
と
were
ころで
interrupted.
邪魔が入った
You should consider yourself
そ
fortunate.
なたにとっては良好であったか
Saber hangs her head in regret. Her intent to kill fades. Not because of Assassin's words, but because Saber must have realized that keeping up the fight would leave her at a disadvantage.
そら迎え
Come
も来ている
now, your escort's here too.
そこにいる小僧はお
That
前
boy
の
over
マス
there
ター
must
で
be
あ
your
る
master. I suggest you
盗み
leave
に
this
落ちる
place
たわけ
before the
が
fool
そ
spying
の
on
小
us
僧に標
decides to
的を
target
変える
him.
前に立ち去るがいい
And just like that, Assassin disappears. It must be his way of telling us that he won't attack unless we keep going. Saber says nothing. She just stands there silently, her back to me.
おい
Hey,
Saber!
Saber! Even when I call to her, she doesn't answer. Huh? It seems strange, so I begin climbing the steps. What? Saber's armor vanishes. Defenseless, and in her simple blue clothing, she sways on the spot without turning around. I catch Saber in my arms as she falls backward down the stairs. She doesn't move a muscle. She's unconscious, eyes shut in pain. We finally get home. It took me 2 hours to carry Saber back from Ryudo Temple. I was worried the whole return trip, but we managed to get back safely. I lay Saber down in the hallway. Saber was really light. She probably only weighs about 40 kilos, so it shouldn't have tired me out so much. Or it wouldn't have if she'd been still. I had no idea that carrying a sleeping person, even a girl, could be so much work. My fatigue is more mental than physical. The feel of her soft skin when I picked her up, her quiet breathing on me, it was all so distracting. Why'd she just faint like that? I look at Saber as she lays there sleeping. She's probably not completely unconscious. Even if she looks like she's out cold, she might open her eyes the moment I call her name. Damn. There was so much I wanted to tell her when I left the house, but I can't say anything with her sleeping. Looking like that. Fine. I'll give you an earful after you wake up, Saber. Even now, I keep my voice to a whisper. The moment I reach out to pick her up again. Look, I don't care what you're into or what you plan on doing next. It's really not my business. But for some reason, Tosaka's in the hallway watching, even though it's after 2 in the morning. Tosaka! What? You look like you just saw a ghost. I'm not going to say anything, so you just go ahead and do whatever you were going to do. I just got up to get a glass of water. You've got it all wrong. This isn't what you think. really? I mean, it's a long story, but the short version is that I was just trying to take Saber back to her room. Are you even listening to me? Well, yes. Sort of. You're lying. You don't sound like you understand at all. Generational fumble. I got it, okay? Saber went out to fight on her own, and you rushed off to stop her, right? Something bad happened, then you both came back after Saber fainted. So, did I nail it? Yeah. That's amazing. That's exactly what happened. But how did you know? How could I not? Saber was obviously going to go off on her own, and the master is immediately alerted to a servant entering battle. It wasn't hard to figure out. I see. I guess that's fine then. So Tosaka knew Saber would go out by herself. So, what are you going to do? Aren't you going to take Saber to her room? You let her sleep here, I'm sure even a servant would catch a cold. Well, yeah, that's why I was going to take her into her room. I tried to lift her up, but... it's kind of awkward with Tosaka watching. Tosaka, would you mind carrying Saber? Me? I mean, I guess, but would you make some tea then? I want to hear what happened. Tosaka picks Saber up. Her being so understanding has me a little worried, but since I asked her for a favor, I better go make some tea. Tosaka carries Saber off toward my room. Meanwhile, I work on preparing tea in the kitchen. She said tea, but I'm assuming she doesn't want green tea. The only black tea I have is from tea bags. Well, if I don't have it, I don't have it. I tell myself she can complain all she wants and start pouring the hot water over the bag. Shiro, do you have a minute? Tosaka comes back. Yeah, hold on a minute, I'll be right there. I put 2 teacups on the tray and carry it out to the living room. And there, sitting next to Tosaka, is Saber in her normal clothes. Saber? Why? I thought you were asleep. She was. But it's not like she was going to sleep forever. She woke up. Looks like she used a ton of magical energy at once, and just temporarily shut down. It's kind of like an electrical breaker tripping before it shorts out. How has the game gone from we are fighting John Wick to Tea Party? That's what this game is, bro. It's... Every other day is just like a normal fucking day where we eat breakfast with cute girls who live in our house, and then at night it's war. That's the whole thing, and that's why it's so popular. Saber is quiet as Tosaka explains. Seeing her back to her usual self, all the frustrations I had earlier come rushing back. Saber, do you have any idea what you tried to do? Of course I do. I made my way to Ryudo Temple and fought Assassin. During our battle, we noticed the presence of a third servant observing us, and so suspended our battle. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to know why you went and fought.
またそれですか。
Are we to revisit this once again?
サーバントが戦う
A
のは
servant
当然のこ
fights.
とです。
It is what we do.
白こ
What
そ
I would like to know is why you, my
マスタ
master,
ーであるあな
keep
たは telling
telling me not
な
to
ぜ
fight.
私に戦うなというのです。
Well, that... I do understand there's no way around fighting since I've decided to participate in the Holy Grail War. And I know me telling Saber not to fight is me contradicting myself. But, even so... I don't want to see something like that happen to her ever again.
私の方こそ
I
聞
would
きた
like
い。
to ask you instead. You
白
seem
は
to
戦い
dislike
を嫌っている
combat.
ようですが、
Do you truly
そ
expect
ん
to
なことで
survive the Holy
聖
Grail
杯
War
戦
with that
争に生き
attitude?
残る気があるんかと。あなたの
Do
方
you
針
not
に従
see
っ
that
て
if
い
we
ては
continue to follow this
他のマスター
policy,
に
we
倒
will
され
only
るだ
end
けで
up
はないの
suffering
ですか。
defeat at the hands of the other masters? It's not like that. I'll fight off anything that might pose a risk to us. I certainly don't intend to just let myself be killed so easily. But aside from that, I just don't want Saber to fight.
違う。
Wrong.
戦う
It's
の
not
を
that I
嫌ってるんじゃ
dislike
ない。
fighting, I just... This is much simpler than that.
その
You see,
女の子が傷つくのはダメ
girls
だ。
shouldn't get hurt.
そんなの
I'm a
男として
guy,
見過ご
so
せ
I
ない。
can't let that happen.
だから
So I'm going to
お
fight
前に
rather
戦わ
than
せる
let
ぐ
you
らいなら
fight.
俺が自分で戦う。
私が女だから戦
Are
わ
you
せない
saying I
なと。
cannot fight because I'm a woman?
正気ですか、あなたは。
Are you out of your
サ
mind?
ーバントはマスターを
A
守る
servant
ものです
protects her master.
私た
We
ち
will
が
be
傷つくの
hurt in
は
the
当然
doing
であり、
and are summoned for
私
that
たちはそ
precise
のために呼
purpose.
び出されたものに過ぎない。サーバントに性
One's
別など
sex
関
has
係ない
nothing
し、
to do with being a
そもそも
servant.
無人である
More
私を女
importantly,
扱い
are
す
you
るつもり
treating
で
me
す
as
か。
a warrior or as a woman?
今の言葉は
I
訂正してくだ
insist
さ
you
い。
take back
シロ
what you have said, Shiro. Please. I am 1 billion% on Saber's side in this argument. Shiro, shut the fuck up, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just being a self-righteous teenager, bro. Which I can't exactly fault you for. You're just young. But, like, dude, come on. It bothers me so much. Saber leans towards me, her eyes blazing with fury. But I won't let her change my mind. It's absurd for her to say she's a warrior before she's a woman. How could someone so frail, light enough for me to carry easily, go and behave so recklessly? He does have hero complex, like really bad. No way in hell will I take back what I said. Sure, you might be strong, but you're still a girl. Don't get worked up over something so pointless, you fool.
つまらないことにこだわってい
It
る
is
のはあ
you
なた
who
で
are
はな
getting
いです
worked up
か。
over something
ま
pointless.
さか
Are
女
you
性
saying
に
you
処され
refuse
る
to
の
let a
が嫌だ
woman
とでも言う
protect
つ
you?
もりですか。
I am already a
この
hero
女
of
すでに
spirit,
命令
so you must
この
let
よう
go
な
of
さま
such
つな言葉を忘れ
trivialities.
なさい。
It's not trivial at all. Even if you don't think it's important, I do. Besides, it was a mistake from the beginning to have someone else fight on my behalf. I can't allow someone to protect someone as helpless as me. I don't want someone to get hurt in my place. I'm the one who should be doing the saving. I've been working so hard to become the kind of person who can help people, just like my old man. Now see, this sentiment I can actually get behind. If you just said it like this, then maybe I wouldn't have so much of a problem with it. But you're just being stupid. Damn it. Listen, just don't fight, Saber. I'll do the fighting. You shouldn't have a problem with that, since it'll be the fighting you want, Saber. What? That is absurd. Do you think a human can fight a servant? You should already understand that you are no match for a servant. Please recall what happened when Lancer attacked you. Had I not appeared, you would have been killed, so it would be against any servant.
それはどのようなサーバントが相手でも同じです。
You can't know that for sure unless we try. I just wasn't prepared. But now I can come up with tons of strategies. I might even be able to ambush one of them too. I'm rubbing my temples having to read this shit. Shiro, dude, you just don't have any concept. Rest assured, chat, that there is more to Shiro than meets the eye, but he doesn't know that. So he's just being stupid. Do not make me laugh. Any defense you employ would be no more useful than a sheaf of paper. I can't believe you'd say that, Saber. You are insulting servants. How can you possibly be so conceited as to believe that you, a mere human, could defeat a heroic spirit? Saber and I glare at each other. Our conversation is going nowhere, and there's no sign of reaching any kind of compromise. You got it wrong, Saber. Shiro isn't insulting servants. This isn't going anywhere so long as you don't understand that much, so I'm stepping in. Rin? What do you mean by that? Well, you see, Shiro genuinely doesn't want you to get hurt. I don't know why, but Shiro is just a giant ball of dedication and goodwill. Am I right? Saber is more important to you than yourself, right? Alright, we've got ads starting any second now, so we are going to take a break right here. I have a feeling we're closing in on the end of tonight's chapter, though, so I kind of feel bad, but I don't want to push them back any farther and then not be able to push them back anymore if we really need to. I'm also going to take this opportunity to scarf down some food really quick. Oh man. I should not eat that fast. That's probably not good for me. Remember like 2 hours ago when I said I was peckish? Yeah, I'm a little more than peckish right now. It advanced. A lot of people really like Shiro as a protagonist. And my first impression of him was always, this guy's an idiot. He's just stupid and self-righteous. Like, I was the same way when I was young. I was like, I'm a boy, I should be protecting girls. But like, for me, that was maybe a little bit more realistic of a scenario because I don't live in a fantasy land where superheroes, superpowered fucking historical figures rain down terror upon a quiet Japanese town. Okay, so like... And also Shiro's got kind of the survivor's guilt thing going on. Survivor's guilt hero complex type thing. So he acts the way that he does because of his personal trauma, so I can't exactly fault him for it. But at the same time, dude, it's you are meddling with things so beyond your understanding. Please take a chill pill. Oh my god. If you felt that way for Sakura, I'd been all in with him. Yeah, and instead he is still friends with Shinji. Man, Shiro, dude, fuck off. Shut up. Shiki is a way better protagonist than you. That's not true. I never said Saber's important to me. You never said it, but don't make it not true. Spare me. You wouldn't be ready to fight yourself if that weren't true. You wouldn't be ready to fight yourself if that weren't true. The tone I used was very weird. You know damn well you can't beat a servant, right? But saying you'll fight even so means Saber is more important to you than yourself. I mean, if she puts it like that, maybe, but... That's why you'll fight, even if it sounds absurd. You'll try to win, even if you know you don't have a chance, and you don't care if you die in the process. Because, and I don't really know why, in that twisted little mind of yours, other people are more important than you are yourself. Well, I don't mean it to be like that. So there you have it. Now you understand, Saber. He's enough of an idiot that he'd even try to protect you against Berserker. So yeah, he's serious when he says he's going to fight. I don't know how much of Tosaka's words actually make it through to Saber, but Saber takes a deep breath and turns towards me. What, Saber? I acknowledge that you have the will to fight, and as such, I have an idea. What is it? You must train with the sword. I shall teach you as much swordsmanship as time permits. If you accept that condition, then I shall accept your way of thinking. What? Does that mean she's going to train me? Is this because she acknowledged my will to fight? Hold up, Saber. That whole line of thinking is pointless, like emotional flab. Teach Shiro the way of the sword? There's no way he'll be able to go up against a servant. True, but it is better than doing nothing. At the very least, it should minimize the hesitation he has in battle. I can only bet on Shiro's will and determination, but such is the nature of a real battle. One will never learn if they have no aptitude for it to begin with. Well, I guess. If you put it that way, you're right. You're never ready for a fistfight unless you've actually experienced one in the past. Yes, that is why I would like to try once. Nay, as many times as time allows. I would like Shiro to experience what death in battle feels like, so he might grow accustomed to battle. The two of them are talking pretty casually about some scary stuff. Hold on a minute, I never agreed to any... Okay then, I'll teach him about magecraft. If Saber's going to train his body, I'll enrich his mind. Well, that was part of our initial plan anyway, so I guess I'll begin the formal training tomorrow. I think I just remembered something from the anime, I'll give it to myself. Yes, please do so. If you can do that, I can concentrate on training him with the sword. Good, good.
じゃ
Now,
話
that's
も決
settled.
まったことだ
Let's
し
break for
解
tonight.
散しましょう
Looks like tomorrow's
明
going
日
to
は
be
いろいろと
busy.
忙しそうだから
Tosaka waves goodbye and disappears into the outbuilding.
私も休みます
I shall rest
シロ
as
も
well.
休憩をとってく
You
だ
should
さ
do
い
the same, Shiro.
明日
I
は道
intend
場
to
で
work
圧
you
を流
hard
して
in the
もらい
dojo
ますから
tomorrow. She gives a short bow and goes back to her room. All that remains in the living room is 2 cups of untouched tea and 1 dumbfounded boy.
いやだから
I
俺は
never agreed to
一
this.
言もさ
My words go unheard. Anyway, what was already a confusing situation has grown a hell of a lot more complicated. I can't even begin to imagine what will happen today.
ねえよ
I'm going to
とに
sleep.
かく
I
体
should at
力
least
だけ
save
は
my
温存しな
energy.
くちゃ
Everything starts with the body. Well, yeah. The only thing I can do is to cling on to my fragile hope that as long as my body is strong enough, I will be able to endure whatever torture they might throw at me. And there you have it. So concludes Day 6 of Fate Stay Night, the Fate route. That was exciting. That was a very good time. But I am a little on the tired side, and I kind of want to get back to editing for as long as I'm able to. Cheater going into training arc? True. You've heard of Tiger Mom, now get ready for Lion Mom. She's going to work us hard in the dojo, and not in the fun way. She's gonna kick our ass. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We are going off on a raid somewhere. Where? I don't know, but we're doing it. We're gonna figure that out. Let's see. I'm raiding my bed. Understandable. Have a good heap. Alright, tonight. There we go. Tonight, we're raiding Vice because he's playing Okami, and that's exciting. I don't know if Vice has any experience with Okami, if this is their first playthrough or not. So many people are playing Okami, it makes me very happy. Again, I don't know if I want to replay it again. I do want to, but I feel like I want to wait and see the progress, or the prospective progress of the sequel. Like, I think maybe when the sequel gets a release date announcement, then that'll be the time for us to do like a 100% run of Okami. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just say fuck that and we'll just play it whenever. But one way or the other, thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, no real schedule this week. We're gonna be playing it a little fast and loose, but we will be doing some more Sonic Adventure 2 at the very least, and maybe starting Dark Souls 2, I'm not sure. Join the Discord, I'll try and keep you guys posted. But other than that, be nice, have fun, raid Leaf, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys.